Hello, everybody, and my camera is at a dodgy angle. It's been a wild one tonight. Welcome to another episode of the Elendor Chronicles, brought to you by the Component Cast. Hello, all of our players tonight. Quick bit of housekeeping. Unfortunately, we got no Roach tonight, but I would like to say quick thanks as well to the people who have been resubbing and the people who have been subbing. You guys help this show be what it is, and my first thank you goes to you because, hey, you're keeping us alive and keeping us rolling. Yes, as I was saying, Roach is unfortunately not with us tonight. He hopefully it will just be for tonight, but there's things going on and machinations happening. It also means that tomorrow's game of the Ticonderoga Knights is unfortunately cancelled for this week. Hopefully we'll be able to bring that back soon. Thank you everybody for the hype train as well. That is awesome. But as well, before we get on with tonight's show, we have a few things to cover. And that is, of course, talking about our sponsors for this show, the Elendor Chronicles. We have Syrinscape. Thank you to the lovely people at Syrinscape for helping bringing our tabletop atmosphere to life. You can add sound sets and sound effects and more with their app, either by going to their website and getting the desktop version of the app, or on your mobile devices. I have it on an iPad for when I do home games. So if sound effects interest you and you want to liven up your games with sound effects, go to Syrinscape.com/ Syrinscape.com, or the panels and the stuff below. I'm trying to do this without my notes in front of me, and it's not working. People, prepare when you go for a live stream show. It's very helpful. But without further ado tonight, we're actually going to begin tonight's broadcast of the Elendor Chronicles. We stand together, foes, friends, and unaligned, to set right a world for the mortal kind. At this, the apogee of all the bloodshed, this great summit where fate hangs her solemn head, it is up to I to duly justify what will happen to those from heaven high, from down below in plains of such hatred. From fire, earth, air, and water created, those of fey and bewildering wilds, even to us, which divinity doth smile. So I put to you, the immortal titans vanquished, I say leave with honor, or be banished. For those that leave with their heads held in dignity may stake their hold on mortals willingly, placing their faith in your sublimity. Yet those that refute my generous overture, those who would see to destroy mortal love, art, culture, their freedom to choose, fight, fail, laugh, and grow, I shall strike them down with a banishing blow. Those that shall not heed this decree for warning will find their flock in despair, mourning the loss of their god, for I will cast out that rebellious soul without a doubt. Your time is over. All is said and done. The war is past us and the battle won. So, hear my decree, or forget your litany, for now is an age of true brilliancy. The past is the past. Your dominion is all but your. Now is the time for Elendor. So, we are back. Who would like to do the recap for this week?
Lambert should, because he did some cool things last session.
That's very true.
Was it last session that I killed a dragon?
No.
It was the session.
No?
It's where you went off yourself and split the party and then survived by rolling really well, blowing everybody's expectations.
You survived the assassin.
Oh, that was that one. Okay, I have a very terrible short-term memory. So yeah, we went camping or traveling, moving further south, and when camping out, it was Zepp and I on watch, and Zepp noticed that there was some bit of movement in a ditch across the road. So I go try and sneak in after this little bit of movement, and my rolls were kind of, Valmeyer-esque. So he did not he did not get snuck up on. He actually saw me coming, and then he threw some daggers at me, and his rolls were similarly Valmeyer-esque, so he missed. And then he ran away, and I ran after him, and I blasted him in the ass with some Eldritch Blast until he died. He fell off his horse and hit a tree. And then Zedaar did speak with Dead, and asked him some questions about where he come from and stuff. And it turns out, I believe he was sent by Greer to either keep tabs on us or to find out if we had the weapon. And there's probably more, but again, a terrible memory. Help me out? Is there anything more? I can't remember.
The assassin, he had a note that was from Greer, but we figured there's not a whole lot we could do about it, because he's over there and we're over here and we've got stuff to do. But we did want to expedite our travel. However, we were running out of fuel for the train, so we started making a detour. We ran into a roadblock of a lot of downed trees. Took a couple hours to clear that out of the way. Didn't talk to the guards as much as we should have, hindsight being 20/20 and all. And then we veered west, going to a town that I actually pull up the image on, because I don't remember it at the top of my head.
Modgeton, Modgeville, Modgery.
It was an old dwarf town.
Modgewen. There we go.
Well, that's not the dwarven name.
town.
That's the new name for it. But yes.
Well, it was an old dwarf town, I think, is the.
Yeah, correct.
And I think we were getting ready to go buy supplies. We were going to spend here as little time as possible before we carried on our wayward son.
Well, I've been remembering the name of that town is Midge. When?
Yep.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
And funny enough, that is actually an auto-generated name, and I kept it because it sounds like you're asking me when.
Modgewen. When? Yeah, I can see it.
I think that's about it that I can.
Zedaar bought everybody heavy winter clothes.
That's where we ended off. Yes. So yeah, that's very.
In the Undercity, that there was apparently some quite capable dwarven smiths down there. It might be worth our time just perusing their wares before we move on.
I was also curious if this place has an old library or something. I'm just mildly curious about a nagging thought that's been in the back of my mind.
I went looking for news and got a nat 1.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that.
Yeah, remember, this place is quite middle of nowhere, but it is an old dwarf. They might have some old text or something I can have a chance to look at.
Also, just something that wasn't covered in our intro at the beginning. We have new emotes up on the Twitch, so if you are a subscriber, enjoy those. But good recap. That covered pretty much everything. Yes, you were haplessly happened upon by a member or a pawn of you think Greer, but at least someone out of Repri. You saw upon them a symbol you recognized and associated with Repri, who unfortunately came a cropper to Valmir and his mighty Eldritch Blasts. You then also came across an ambush, and that, well, not an ambush, a obstacle is a better word. The many felled trees covering the road with two Husakals looking at them, and you managed to clear those and continue down your way, but you did stop off for supplies in Modgewen. So, you look around this dwarven hold laden with Rhiannian architecture on top of it, mishmash of wood and perfect carved stone. party, is there anything you would particularly like to do? I would say that as a group, you've kind of regathered after Zedaar's bought some clothing and you've spent some time. I remember Valmir spent 3 hours looking around the city. So you've kind of also got a relative feel for this city. Unfortunately, I do not have a city map for this because essentially it works like a tier of cake system, and I couldn't get a nice way of doing that. Imagine Minas Tirith, but the points are underground.
No, that's a great way of experiencing.
Yeah, it actually works.
Yeah.
Ruby is going to be looking for some sort of library where one might store knowledge about arcane or divine powers, if there happens to be one here. Just lore, old lore.
Sure. Anybody else got anything they particularly want to do?
Zedaar was going to put all of the heavy winter clothing in the party loot.
Yep.
Just so if anybody needs it when we get to it, that'll be readily available for everyone. And imagine just finding like a small cupboard in the wagon to stuff it away where we need it.
I will put that in there. No, you bought. I think you bought like 12 sets in the end.
Sure.
Oh no, it was
It was enough for everyone plus the retainers, minus Zedaar because he didn't need it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I
Braun.
give Zedaar just the scarf. That's it.
Yeah. Oh, let's give you 10.
Sure.
Ten cold weather clothing. That's fine. I just want to quickly thank everybody as well for the hype train in chat. I know we don't normally call these things out, but thank you so much. Your continued support of this show means a lot to us. Wow. Anyway, so Ruby, give me an investigation check. Zep, was there anything you wanted to do particularly?
Oh, a change? No, not really. I'd be quite happy just tagging along with the others.
Yeah, Zep, can I borrow your inner expertise as well? This might be something that interests you.
Yeah, of course.
Investigation.
You can have advantage on this investigation check if you're going as a full party, essentially.
Sure. Somebody with a higher investigation check want to work with me on this one?
I can do this, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zep with his +8, is it?
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
I will say, just for roleplay reasons, Zep is not very good at the scholarly side. He does have very good investigation. That's usually finding the information as quickly as possible, but he doesn't usually elaborate. He doesn't actually like studying.
Yeah. Well, is everybody here, or is it just us four?
Oops. It shows.
Well, we've regrouped, so.
But you do have
advantage.
It's
you have
advantage.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say you're all going, considering pretty much. Wow. 2 2s.
You
Okay,
know,
Desmond.
He is done with.
sometimes the universe just say no.
Yeah. Well, still with a 10. Eventually, after a little bit of wandering through the city, the party that is going, some of you, Darius is staying with Joanna at the wagon, because you guys said you weren't going to be here long. You haven't stabled in. You've just essentially parked up with a lot of other merchants outside, and he's taken a guarding protection there, along with his retainers. But those of you who do go, you eventually trudge your way through the city. It's a bizarre footing, because you've got the hay and manure and the general detritus of the Anraynian city on top of this beautifully carved black basalt that comes from the mountain here. And it's almost marbled black streets that have just been ruined with hay and muck over the years. But eventually you go down the a road that you hear tell from various merchants, and you kind of guess from some of the shop names called the Dwarven Mile. And you eventually are greeted by the face of the mountain, a great doorway that seems to go into the depths of the old hold. There's various like mining industries, like with like their own subterranean tunnels, but this main one seems to go to a main staircase aligned with shops and buildings as it goes into the depths of the mountain. And as you progress down there for a while, you're greeted by more and more dwarves. Dwarves are not unusual in the Rhiannon Empire, nor are they unusual in any empire. Dwarves tend to find their home everywhere. They are, like humans, one of the more adventurous races, and don't necessarily settle within the traditional dwarven kingdoms, of which there is only one now, a large one at that on Solarum. But you progress out, but it begins that a majority of the population, at least in the hold section, seems to be dwarves. And you see all sorts of dwarves in like finery. You see a couple of Husakal is the wrong word because Husakals have a very unique style, but dwarven warriors as well, with finely crafted dwarven armor sets, seem to be patrolling the hold, and they seem to have a very unique symbol, not of a Rhiannian style either, on like a tower shield that covers their entire body size. And you progress down, you start to pass a load of shops until the large staircase that you descend plateaus out into a large courtyard, where at the center stands a tower that seems to look like a library. It's unique. It is a rundle tower with almost like styled like the Tower of Pisa. There is statues up each of the levels of various dwarven warriors and scholars and humans, but the walls are hollow and they're just filled with squared off archways. And inside those archways you then see a tower of books and bookshelves in between. So it's an open-walled library in the center. With the bottom layer of this tower, the area, like the squares in between, are gated off, so you can't just walk in from all sides. There is a main entrance, but it seems to be a central focal point of this this square here.
So, are we alone?
I mean, there's lots of people milling about. This is a busy thoroughfare, but you can be relatively alone.
So, I have been thinking about the precedent of Joanna and her powers, and using the clues that we have unlocked of her so far, her ability to understand divine languages but not really comprehend how to speak them, and the powers that she wields. I have a theory that I need to confirm, or at least find if we could find some precedent. If her powers have been displayed before, in the ages before the gods departed Elendor, I think, or at least theorize, that Joanna is of divine nature, much as Zedaar theorized in the beginning. But I think it's more than just the blood of a god like the Azamar. I think in some way she is divine, perhaps even quasi or demigod without even realizing it, which would have enormous implications for everything. So I need to find if these powers have been viewed before. That's why I come down here, but I'm going to need help. This is a lot of books, but the dwarven memories are old. And if there's any place I could find something, it might be here. But I can't speak Dwarvish.
I don't speak Dwarvish any better than I speak shells.
Yes, Dwarvish is not something I speak either.
As I remember where the languages are kept, I will tell you if I do.
Darius speaks Dwarven, so we can have swapped him into the party.
Okay.
Because T-posing Darius does speak Dwarven.
Your language is at the bottom of your abilities.
Yes.
You can also just click the...
Blake, your mic is
button on the
really
left.
quiet right now.
I'm gonna do what I can for that, but it's gonna be a little bit of hit or miss, I'm afraid, with that one.
No worries, buddy.
Yeah, I do not speak Dwarven either.
Okay, so we have Darius translate for us.
Okay, Darius can be there
If-
for trans.
If this library has language sections, perhaps we'd all find something that we can read. Perhaps, there may be something in Gnomish referring to this, but...
And if anything in Draconic or Primordial as well, I could help. Or Phaonian. But I would appreciate your help, and at least finding, hopefully, a precedent of some sort of these abilities demonstrated before in the past.
I would be pleased to help with this.
Let's spend some time here. And
Okay.
Ruby will start making her way towards the Forum Library.
I guess we all will.
It's weird. As you enter the library,
Hi, Saber.
the energy of the hustle and bustle of the town around fades, and it's almost like either the shape of this building or some sort of magic begins to dull and nullify the sound around it. The cavernous echoed footsteps and merchant calls and hoofbeat onto hard rock has been nullified into a subtlety that only seems to only exist in the back of your mind at this point. And you are surrounded by a library of immense proportion. There is a number of individuals, cloaked and robed, that are operating. They wear a light blue or purplish robe, sometimes with a mix of the two colors, and they are essentially, they seem to be library staff. There are also people that seem to be studying various desks, and you notice as you look up at the various tiers of the library, there is a sort of outer ring level of stationary research area tables, and then the bookshelves themselves are in a central column on a large mechanical structure, where it seems like, and you're there for a moment, and you then hear a as the whole central column section where all the library bookcases are begin to shift up and down as a bookcase goes to a different level, and then out into the the extra wing. So it seems like the central system of this library is one central bookcase, and then then the books are brought to you level by level. If that makes sense.
Is there a
imagine
curator?
There are many library staff, as it seems to be, around. A curator there would be, but you don't see anyone that looks to be the boss around. Imagine the library system almost like a record being picked by a jukebox. It's like that, but whole bookcases.
I wonder how one goes and acquires that.
Zep,
I was
you
wondering
are
how this was built as
fascinated.
well.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Zep-
clearly magical.
Well, with the clicking and the clanking, I am not so sure it is magical. That sounds more mechanical.
It is wondrous regardless.
Where do we begin looking?
Well, perhaps we should ask a staff member, and Ruby will try to flag one down.
Oh, usually such mechanisms are stored underneath or on top.
Zep, focus.
Oh, yeah, of course.
You can find a staff member pretty much no problem.
To whom am I speaking?
Bara. I am one of the one of the scholars here. How may I be of service?
Well, good afternoon. Looks up. Hello, sir. My name is Ruby. These are some of my companions. We are seeking information regarding the chronicles of the gods prior to their departure of Elendor, specifically relating to powers and abilities displayed.
Okay, well, that sounds like you're going to need to do a long day study, and, would you like to book a study booth?
Certainly. How much would that cost us?
Well, for the full day, it's 25 gold pieces. But if you need assistance from one of the scholars, for either translation or for any other sort of reasons, that will be up to 50 gold pieces for the full day. And then certain levels of restricted knowledge may require signing off from different levels of department or / local nobility, depending on how deep you want to go.
Ruby will just hand him 100 gold and say, "We'll start here."
Oh, lovely. Let me get you a booth. I mean, this man now holding a small bag of gold pieces. He's like, okay, did you want help?
Yes.
Lovely. Okay. And he leads you towards what seems to be a mechanical platform. And you all gather in before he pulls a lever, and it elevates up on what seems to be like an A-frame axle. It starts to go, and you go about 5 tiers up. And he opens the small gate. Like, opens the small gate and leads you through, and assigns to you study area 13. You see a number of tables. There's stacks of paper, quill, and ink. And then there is a machine towards the edge of this study area with a large arcanic gateway where it seems like it's basically to stop people falling off, but allow certain things through, like a magical barrier. And the dwarf goes over to her and says, "You're looking for sort of prehistorical texts?"
Yes.
Okay. And he goes in.
Specifically regarding gods and the powers they displayed when they were at war with each other.
Okay, well... And he just starts inputting lots of, like, levers and... almost to an untrained eye, this board of levers and switches and sigils and runes is... nonsensical. There are things that this man spins, pulls, flicks. It's all over the place, but eventually you hear him push one final lever, and then the telltale rotation of bookcases begins again. Before a bookcase, probably about 15 minutes later, this is not a fast process, but 15 minutes later, 2 bookcases are shuffled in to the library area that you are. One to the west and one to the east. Like, essentially, once they pass through that belt, they get picked up onto like a rail system and get railed to either side of your study area. There you go. Well, these we got on this side. We've got prehistoric study of the prehistorical gods of the plains. And then this side, we've got religious histories of the Rien. It might have some things in, because you're looking specifically for gods and their powers.
Yes.
I guess we start going.
Yep.
So, give me a first topic that you want to look for, whether it be something more generalized or something... a bit more specific.
Notable battles between deities.
Okay. And give me a give me an investigation check.
Go ahead, Zep.
With advantage. I will say. With advantage.
Don't roll 2s, please.
I got those out the way already.
Oh, now he's guaranteed roll another duff.
22.
Yeah, or that.
Awesome. Nice. Okay. Let me. So you're looking specific battles between gods. So the pinnacle of the great War of the Heavens that happened was a battle known as the Battle of the Banishment, which is the moment in which the king that never was struck down the evil deity Neral and banished him, ending the battle very much prematurely. The texts are vague purely because all it basically entails is that the king that never was somehow banished Neral mid battle, and then began what was known as the Great Summit, which was though the victors of that battle then essentially dictated the religious philosophy and standing of the gods in the world of Elendor from that point on, before what is known as, past that, the first green and pleasant day, which is the first day in which the current state of affairs existed. A lot of the books say or state that the Battle of the Banishment was essentially the last battle of the war, but they also are very vague on how long that battle was and for how long the Great Summit was, because
she's aiming more specifically for how they did it. What's the action taken to banish or stop or kill?
Well, during the Great Summit, one of the things that is covered is essentially because not every god agreed to the rulings of the Great Summit. So before the first green and pleasant day and the end of the Battle of the Banishment and the War of the Heavens, there is this period called the Great Summit. In most theological literature, it is described as one day. However, in that time, they managed to banish essentially every evil god or goddess that deemed to exist in Elendor. So in actuality, it's probably a much longer time. And in those periods, there were battles against Lolth, there were Tiamat, and the varying banishments happened. But what is for certain, all of them were dictated by this theorized king that never was, a mortal hero that eventually ascended to god status, and then their ascension is what blocked the other gods' interference with Elendor.
Okay.
So the specifics, what you could look into specifics of, like, it would be under research of those individual deities, and if you continue to go deeper, you probably can get some specifics of how. But the general consensus is that the banishment of the gods was handled by this mortal who ascended to godhood.
Is this consistent with what I know about Lolth being of Drow descent, with Lolth being the primary deity?
Give me a quick history check.
Oh, he's just giving me a roll things again, guys. Oh, it was almost a 19. You saw that.
So, with a 12, you actually know that Lolth plays an interesting part in the story of basically the War of the Heavens, is the fact that she wasn't always on the betrayer side, but ended up there. There was essentially in the periods of the War of the Heavens, the Unseelie and the Seelie courts of Fae basically banded together for the first time ever. there was to form almost a neutral faction. Basically, all the Fae went, nah, you can sort this out yourselves. We're already immortal, and so are like elves. We are the longest. Like they took a higher moral ground above a lot of the conflict and stayed out of a lot of it until right at the end during the summit. The leaders of the Sealy Court agreed with the hero's statement and the decision that gods should leave the plane and not directly interfere. And Lolth went, no. And then Lolth was hunted down and banished. Her banishment was then back to her home plane. And a lot of these banishments for certain gods are amorphous because, yes, sometimes they walked this plane, but it also alludes to the fact that they already had homes elsewhere and would often leave lieutenants in charge of Elendor, or captains, or demigods, rather than be here themselves. So, yeah.
I'm getting the impression that a lot of the stuff I'm writing is kind of biblical, where it says they just smote them down and that was it.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't really. I'm missing the specific detail that I'm looking for.
I think maybe we should look more into the king that never was and how he exactly attained this divine status.
I am curious about that, but I also would imagine that much of his book is also apocryphal.
But look how amazing this guy was and all that. So would I have like a negative opinion of the king who never was? Or would my family, because I'm like
considering you do not follow, your family doesn't.
I'm not
follow
devout. Yeah.
Well, there is a almost reformed Underdark god, which is for the people that agreed and didn't agree with Lolth. So I haven't got the name in front of me. So but basically anti-Lolth. So for the fact that you guys still follow Lolth, you would be like,
it's Isla Stray, isn't it?
Possibly, I
think it's Isla Stray.
Isla Stray. It sounds about right. It might be slightly changed in my theology.
Sure.
Again, not sure. I will have to check it. But essentially, it was like your opinion would be, why do mortals have to get involved with the folly of the gods? Essentially. Why should it be up to a mortal to decide what happens to that of such immense power, such as Lolth, the creator of the Drow race?
Yeah, so that'd be my family's kind of opinion.
Yeah,
but I'm feel othered by the family, so not so much invested.
And Ruby, as an atheist, absolutely does not care.
So. That's what you get on that first investigation check. Would you like to
keep with the help, and Ruby's gonna keep looking. This is gonna be a day's endeavor.
Okay. Is there anything?
The money.
Is there anything else you would? What's the next topic you want to research?
The king that never was.
Okay.
Again, specifically related to powers and abilities.
Your dwarven scholar overhears that, and while you're talking about the king that never was, he begins clunking away on the machine, and another third bookshelf comes up, followed by a fourth and a fifth, and this is all the histories and theory texts we hold on the king that never was. It's a topic of great discussion within Longreach as a whole. Both, we've got a few elven texts as well, giving a bit more of a unique scenario.
Is there any empirical data?
Empirical data, how? There's relics.
As in, written at the time that it was happening.
The closest we have is stuff from the Gospels, I think. Let me check. Yeah.
Were there no scientists or artificers or mages 2,500 years ago? This is ridiculous. My camera's blurry. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Well, a lot of texts and of those are of such rare value that they aren't everywhere, and the church tends to keep a hold of that kind of thing. As much as we believe that knowledge should be free and for anyone's gain here, and it is, unfortunately, there are some books that haven't had copies. Let me just check to see if they've got one thing I'm thinking of, though. So... he clicks. We do have a copy of Ulfric's The Great Journey, which is, if actually quickly make a history check. Anyone from Longreach. So Zep, Valmir to an extent, Darius and Ruby.
Okay.
So you're all from the Eastern Continent.
Nah, mate, I'm under Longreach. It's like, nah.
Unterreach. 19. Zep and Ruby, you definitely would have heard of this. Ulfric's The Great Journey is a... he's essentially described as the great... it's the first bard. And he's a bard and a scholar. And he is known as the only mortal disciple of the hero that was allowed to witness their ascension before achieving divinity. And if you study this text, that might hold some more answers, but that is as close as you're going to get. It's essentially the closest first-hand account, but and it's almost the gospel of a saint. So take that as you will at the same time.
Well, let's see what we can find in this.
And also the scholar that's with you does say, this is a copy. It's not obviously the actual tome that lies, of course, lies in the Great Temple, but it has most of it. Oh yes, in the capital of the Rien, upon the hill. It's essentially its own kingdom within itself. The Church of Albay is also its own organization outside of the Rienian Empire that exists. But the Cathedral of Ascension has obviously a great library in which many of these original texts are owned and kept and looked after. But to see a lot of those, you'd need written permission from the King Bishop Bonifontus himself.
I see. Is there any deviation between the two?
There are apparently some bits missing.
Well, let's see what we can find and try to deduce what's missing.
Some of the original text has pages that were unfortunately weathered and destroyed before it was recovered. A lot of it was... The book went... When it was captured by the Eladrin Empire in the first invasion, it notably is a prize, but also was damaged.
Heretical.
And it took many a great martyr of the Nine Lights and the religion of this area to keep it alive and smuggle it back and rebring it to the Rienian and Albaean cause. But anyway, that's a thing. Anyway, you have made. Give us an investigation check for the study of this text.
Yeah, you never actually asked for any rolls.
Yeah, no, go for it. No, that's fine.
With advantage?
Yes.
One of them
One of your
immediately
dice fell
falls off
off.
the table.
Yeah, give it a minute. Give it a minute. It should hop back on.
Why is that seeming
Mine
like
did.
that? There we go,
Ah.
16.
If one lands on when you've got advantage, for some reason it will hop back on. If they don't land on when you haven't, you have to re-roll. It's a bizarre.
That's the equivalent of table falling off the dice and going, wait, what is it? What is it?
Yeah, it's essentially what that is. A 16. So
Zep, I'm gonna need you to update those rolls, man. Come on.
So the Ulfric tells, Ulfric was originally, from what you get from the book, Ulfric was he's referred to as the first bard. Whether that's true or not, it's unknown. But he was a court musician, in the hero's army, and then became due to his study of the various gods and his knowledge for recalling information, not via a book, but by song, he was then hired directly by the hero to almost curate his word. And as you read this text, it is a great tome. We are looking at a chunky piece of text. As you read it, you actually feel the flow of the words here, and it's lyrical. And as the poet say, it states the hero's almost quest and both his great battles with various gods, all of them told very vaguely. Nothing, there's no like, this was the inscription we used to banish this god. It's all like, and the hero smote down the... It's very, very ecclesiastical in nature of some of the text. But,
I've always hated this poetical language. Give me a user manual any day.
For one step, I actually agree with you on that one.
There's a few notes, though, that you do kind of pick out on, and that is that the hero didn't ascend straight away on the first green and pleasant day. In fact, it seems that the hero lived for about 100 more years, walking the land, of which they sought about freeing. And there are a lot of... This kind of lines up with a lot of other almost creation myths and founding myths of certain nation states, that they were often visited by the hero, and anyone that takes credence in like the hero mythos kind of try to say, oh, our first king was a general or was met the hero or that kind of thing. But on the 100th year, on the anniversary of the ending of the summit, the hero ascended. But before achieving divinity, the hero told Ulfric all the wonders of this new world, and relinquished it to the mortals, and all of its beauty to the mortals. It is their guidance, it is their world now. And this story also kind of starts to, through the themes of this, the hero's journey post the summit, tend to, like, they're almost fables, and they tend to outline a lot of the morals and minor miracles and all the things to be taken from. So it's... I don't know how many who out of our players are familiar with a lot of the Bible, but it's a lot of the story of, like, feeding the 5,000. And, like, moments like that where... they are like stories that can be used to extrapolate moral code or guidance.
I'm leaving the era of data and entering into the realm of theology.
Yeah. It's like more of a moral codex than it is history. But it does give some light that the hero was a mortal who then achieved divinity, which essentially ended this prehistorical period. And the identity of the hero is never given. And a full account of the hero's day-to-day, or everything, is not obviously kept in or told in the story. But this is the closest you'll get to verbatim what the hero did. At least for the most part, past in that 100 years that they were alive post all of the conflict. Ulfric's The Great Journey doesn't really go too much into detail of the War of the Heavens period. It's mostly that Great Journey period, that post pre-ascension, post-war scenario.
Sure.
The swords to the plowshares period of the hero's story. It also does, however, in fact, Zep, you're intelligent. Give me a quick, flat intelligence or history check.
So Ruby is proficient in history. Can I help?
Yeah, go for it. No, just roll a separate one. Roll a history check.
Yeah, because I'm not proficient in history. This would just be my own recollection.
I am.
Well, this will be more your analytical mind and Ruby's knowledge of history here.
16.
15.
There is a lot of there's a lot of mention to how wherever the hero turned, the hero promoted free will above everything else. The hero was offered essentially the crown of Elendor, this entire world, not Longreach, not Solarum, the world that existed, to rule over it as one king, and they turned it down. And with your less theocratic-minded selves, see that this element seems to come through, and a lot of the mentions of like other gods, it never really, outside the title of the battle being the Battle of the Banishment, a lot of Ulfric's text tends to say freed a god rather than banished it. But that could also just be author's penmanship.
Are there any stories of any of these gods that were freed to essentially become mortal as opposed to being removed to another plane?
There seems to be, in certain cases of demigods, yes. But the larger deities that had control of multiple dominions, such as the ones that everyone said, like Palor and even the dark gods like Asmodeus, they seem to have just gone back to where they came from. But some of their, say, lieutenants or various champions of their faith who were of godlike status or demigod status, they seem to just either cease to exist or fade in terms of the story. There could be note that they remained either mortal or powerless or became mortal in some sense.
Well, interesting. I wonder if any of them had descendants.
That was one of my queries as well. Zedaar, you have been very quiet during all of this. Do you have any of your own perspectives to offer?
It's a hard question to answer. Our faith is very much delved into different beliefs than this. The king may exist, but we tend not to focus on that aspect. I'm not sure how good the Arthurian religion would apply to this particular topic of study.
Well, we could change gears a little bit, deviate from the gods, and look for other precedents of her power and ability to be displayed through powerful magi. Any sorcerer kings or incredibly powerful liches that ever existed, perhaps those powers are out there. Although I still think she is divine in some sense.
Still fairly positive of that myself.
Okay.
The next topic of research is looking for powers and abilities displayed by any creature that can manipulate reality by simply thinking it.
Okay. Give me another investigation check with advantage. As the clunk of machinery and pistons fire as the bookcases fly in and out of your research area.
It's another 22.
Okay. You get a lot. There is a lot of things that could match similar ideas. Like, you're reading... As you read, there are various things that spring to attention. Like the raw magic of a dragon comes up. The divine power of gods and those blessed by the gods. Or godlike entities or immortal entities. Zep, do you speak Elven? Okay, cool. Let's just...
I do.
You speak Elven. Actually, something comes up in one of the texts that Valmir highlights that twigs on something that you guys were talking before. There are a few, and it combines with this high powerful rulers or magi as an element. The leader of the Eladrin Empire, also known as Eladrin the Immortal, was a general during the War of the Heavens for the Fey forces, and was born many, many thousand years ago, not even on this plane. Likewise, the descendants of Godric Willowwall, those who are the kings of the Rhiannon Empire, whilst they don't have... Well, they have certain magical abilities given to them by their worship of the king who never was. Paladin-like, but slightly different. There's a lot of mention of, like I said, the raw power of dragons. How a lot of dragons, some of the eldest dragons of this world that haven't been seen and since the times of the War of the Heavens, that existed as leaders and generals and commanders and entities within the War of the Heavens, they still there's talk of them having these sorts of powers which they could just draw forth from themselves. Specifically about the mind, you find a dwarven text that has been translated from Undercommon and written by what seems to be a set of Duergar sages that talk about illithid creatures deep in the dark. This has been translated for you, so.
Oh, okay. It didn't have the original there next to it.
No, it's not like a Spark Notes book, unfortunately.
I mean, it was worth a try.
But it talks about illithid creatures whose worship is towards practices of the mind and telekinesis and the control of others that seem to lie in the deepest belows of this world and every world, slowly enslaving races to their dominion, to do their will through powers of the mind.
Well, Joanna hasn't displayed anything like that yet.
There's also mention of artifacts of great power and great importance. With a 22, I'm not sure that information. You also note of various godlike artifacts that give the wielder the power or the control of certain, say, elements or otherworldly powers. But there's nothing that outright sparks and says Joanna. Nothing fits the peg hole, or totally. There's also obviously been liches and powerful mages that exist. There are powerful mages that exist today of great importance and of great power. But again, none of them innately. This is through study or through birthright. Nothing here says or screams similar to Joanna.
Mr. Scholar, do you have any books upon the strongest weapons in this world? A book upon magical weaponry of incredible power.
Be careful, Valmir.
Valmir,
She was
give me an
described as a weapon.
investigation. Give me an investigation check.
Shit, I forgot. I should have told someone else to ask that.
You can have advantage.
Oh, if I can have advantage. All right. Where? Hang on. Where's investigation?
There's a reason these kinds of things are hidden away.
Oh, that was insight. Ah, balls. We'll take away the 2. It's a 15, or it's a 15.
The 15. There's a lot of mentions of great artifacts and magical weapons. The War of the Heavens was literally littered with them. Because gods and demigods and generals of every plane and place imaginable basically came to Elendor to duke it out for a while. So there are fractures and various artifacts of all sorts of gods and deities and extraplanial beings and elementals and and you are just getting a fountain of information that you would have to refine if you were to go any further. But there's mentions of like the gods wielding weapons. There are mentions of weapons that are created from the soil of Elendor itself. There's all sorts that it would take a deeper dive.
Mm.
One last thing I'd like to look at.
You've got about one more search option before you're hitting into the deep out. Are you planning on doing some shopping at all today?
I think we're done.
Yeah,
We got what we needed.
Okay.
I mean, Zedaar was not sitting around the library all day.
Okay. We'll go to what Zedaar's doing then in a moment after this. But yes. Go for it, Ruby.
I want to learn about phoenixes.
Phoenixes? Do you want the others to know that you were doing this?
No.
Okay.
Anything from the elemental plane of fire, great phoenixes, powers and abilities. Not powers and abilities, I'm sorry. Knowledge of them.
Okay, just give me a quick deception check.
$16.
Okay. And now roll an investigation check at advantage.
$19.
With a 19. Folks that are players, keep an eye on me, or the Elendor live general chat. But I'd like everyone but Ruby to take off their headphones if they possibly can. When you return, I will do this as put your headphones back on, and I'll type. But so Ruby, as you begin to, you basically whisper to the scholar that's there to get them to bring over an extra bookcase. They do it and you slip them an extra gold piece to keep their mouth shut while they do this, and then it funnels it in with a lot of the king shall not be named stuff. And you pick up quite a bit. I need to quickly run and grab something myself, which is my hard copy of my notes. They're in a different room. I will be right back. And to land.
He'll be right back.
Are we allowed to come back yet?
No, he had to go find something.
Oh, okay.
What did you say to him?
Take your headphones off.
I'm just going to keep myself on deafen. You can see that I can't see anything.
Okay. So, one of the things you find out, specifically in Phoenix, is you find a very dusty old tome about supposed supposed cosmology of Elendor, and it goes deep into descriptions about how the world was made. And some of the stuff that you come up with is that in the earliest form of Elendor, a time where the continents weren't what they are now, in fact, even in the formation of the continents, in this era called the Void Age, the tear that became the plane of Elendor was exploited first by the elemental planes, through natural means, and then by expansion of the different elemental lords. The Lord of Fire sent through a titan by the name of Traz Korgaz, who is also known as the Magma King, a behemoth laden of metal and fire.
Traz Gorgaz?
Kraz Torgaz. Kilo Romeo Alpha Zulu Dash Tango Oscar Kilo Golf Alpha Romeo Zulu.
Okay.
Who built himself a great fortress known as the Fortress of Immolation deep within the center of what became the continent. It was essentially amongst a massive pool of volcanoes and magma, this monolithic castle that he tried to rule this plane that was being created around him from. He then took many other concubines, shall we say, either through his conquests of the area or from gifts or homage. One of the most famous you seem to recall is actually, and because of this, he had many children. And one of the one that spikes your interest the most is mention of one of his favorite children, which was an entity by the name of Caloris. Kilo, Hotel, Lima, Oscar, Romeo, Indigo, Sierra. who is stated to be the mother of phoenixes, who was sired to him from a sky elemental. That it's unknown where the sky elemental really came into play, but he then raised his sireling, his bastard, and used Caloris to try and combat one of the other elemental gods, deities, titans. We'll go with titans, which is Score, the Harbinger, which is a great sky entity that was the general of the Lord of the Air that was set to control their portion of Elendor. Not much is given directly about Caloris, but it's vague. Caloris is continued to be mentioned, and you notice this name because you see the name now. This is where you get the name from. You start to see the threads between other texts that you're reading. Caloris is actually mentioned a few times in the War of the Heavens texts and in the post-history, and the blood of Caloris also gets a lot of mention. But outside of the name Caloris and the blood of Caloris, you don't find anything else.
You're good.
We'll just bring our friends back to the table here.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Backstory. It had to come in at some point. Oddly, I wasn't thinking that it was going to be you tonight, but hey. We'll see where it goes. But, if your research is done,
I think we're done.
let's move over to what Zedaar. Zedaar, what were you doing for today? After you see these, your companions dive headfirst into a multitude of texts in this weird artifice library. What do you do for the day?
He was told that the deeper sections of the city offered a very promising amount of wares and craftsmanship. So while they're spending the day doing that, he was going to optimally use their time and kind of peruse the craftsmanship that these dwarves were apparently somewhat renowned for.
Yeah.
Specifically, he's going to look around. We've seen that in the Iranian Empire, they do have a knack for making certain weapons and materials, or certain weapons and equipment out of materials you wouldn't expect, such as the steel willow shield that Zedaar actually uses, and the Iranian Empire is actually known for. So he's taking the presumption that perhaps these dwarves also have knowledge of construction and ores that may go into armors that would also be quite useful for himself or some of his allies, and he's going to be looking into stuff like that.
Absolutely. Give me a quick investigation check.
Alrighty then. If I roll low, then hey, we can just say that this was a very short trip. That's a 1.
With advantage, because you're spending a day doing this. Let's be fair.
I was you know what? I might actually burn my inspiration on that, just because let's not waste the day. That's
By
a 21.
DM's grace.
21. That's far better. So the next layer down, this now spiraled section. So from this main plaza that this library entity was at, you take another set of stairs down, which takes the hold way. It's known as the hold way, and it goes down and down in almost a massive spiral staircase with various layers, like a cake, of essentially plaza, until you get to one that is brimming with fire. A flow of magma cuts into the street, into open forges and furnaces, where you see many dwarves and artisans at work crafting armor, weapons, steel contraptions, but also finer things like jewelry. And upon investigation, you come across this big open big open smithy.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
We've got some Zedaar problems.
We had Ruby problems too. We both froze. We're back.
I think
Oh,
our internet cut out for a second.
okay. So I'll repeat that for you.
The giant flowing magma was the last thing I got.
Okay. From there, it splits off into various smithies for both jewelry and armor alike, metallurgy going on everywhere. But you are immediately drawn to one in the corner with what seems to be a rocketing shaft up towards into the mountain face, where spilling from a carved dragon head out of the raw basalt and obsidian of the mountain flows snow, which is then being used to cool weapons.
Damn it.
Ah, crap! It did it again.
Oh, they're both gone again. Ruh-roh.
Just funny. The stream is still going.
I don't know.
Because we can
Might
hear
be
you, we just
Discord
can't
servers
see
from the
you.
East Coast.
We can hear you.
Could be anything.
Don't know if they can hear us.
I don't think they can.
Yeah, Lambert, you are muted.
Yeah, it's just.
Control R is
Reconnect.
Full reset of Discord. It generally helps.
I didn't know that. That's a good. Yeah, it's a good.
Yeah.
I
Lambert,
only learned about it literally yesterday.
you're now DM, Lambert. So.
Maybe.
We hear you.
Hello, friends. We can hear
Sorry
you.
about the technical difficulties.
It's okay.
In our local Discord.
So I've
servers.
been promoted to DM.
Something
Oh,
are
it's
So
back
just,
to me now.
acting up and not giving us what we need to be having here.
Well, welcome back nonetheless.
I got flowing snow out of that one.
Yeah. Okay.
Not
So.
flowing magma.
Well, no, there's magma and snow, and it seems that these magma-fired crafts are being then cooled in the pure snow of the mountain. And you go over, and you are met by this open but illustriously decorated, purely stone-carved smithy of various weapons and armors.
He would kind of peruse around for a bit and just kind of look to see if they have any explanations on
again.
displays, or if he's gonna have to approach the craftsman or vendor themselves and get a first-hand account.
There are.
It did it again. Like.
Yeah,
Oh,
I see
no.
that. God damn it.
Beth, can you still hear us?
I don't think either of them can.
It's weird because Beth hasn't frozen this time. Lake, hello?
No, it did it again. This is weird because it's. I don't understand what the problem is. I apologize for the technical difficulties, everyone who's enjoying the stream.
It's weirder because Beth doesn't freeze for us either.
And
You
we
guys
can still
seem
hear you, you just can't hear us.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
hear every word you say.
That's
The whole
very
time.
unusual, and that leads me to believe maybe like a connection issue from wherever we're connected to Discord to wherever you all are connected to for Discord.
It's
Yeah.
your download is crapping out, but your upload is still fine. Something like that, maybe.
probably.
Maybe, I don't know. Either way, he'll approach the vendor and just say,
Greetings. I heard on the surface that this city is well known for its crafts. And I was curious to see what you might be able to tell me about the armor ship that you have here.
You are greeted by a very eccentric looking dwarf. One eye does not follow the line of sight to the other. The hair is matted and spiky and jagged and filled with soot. A leather-bound apron covered in dirt and what seems to be dried flakes of magma, but it seems to have resisted it. Burns on this thing. Oh, aye, yes. Welcome to the Ice Dragon's Haft. We have many a fine ware here. Is there something in particular you're looking for? Protection, offensiveness, mass destruction?
I'm always looking in this instance for knowledge as well as materials and equipment.
I think I've frozen again. I apologize. I'm just going to keep talking with the assumption that you all can hear me. And hopefully when I reconnect, it'll all work out fine. I saw Midge light up there for a second.
I'm just going to hold a thumbs up until he keeps...
Yeah.
Ay.
This is very strange.
Yeah, this is a very bizarre one.
I blame America.
We might take an early break here in a moment just to see if we can sort these technical difficulties out.
The issue is if I keep going and I get to the point where I can naturally stop, then it's like I don't get the response. We gotta wait for the response. But yeah.
For the longest time, I've been using this armor,
And you'll just kind of gesture to the chainmail that Zedaar himself is wearing.
it has served me well for some time, but I feel that as where travels get dangerous, my friend, I am part of a adventuring company that has been over the very part of the arena at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I am looking to see what I might be able to procure of more durable or well-crafted means. But the issue I've run into in the past as we are exploring my homeland is that when you get into the heavier armors, they can be quite bulky and cumbersome. I was looking for anything that might be more capable and secure without being as heavy or restrictive.
And I can see you guys. You're good to talk now.
Oh, I see. You're looking into getting into the myths of Mithril. Ah, well, we might have some things for you there. The eccentric dwarf takes you towards a section of armor where there is, it seems to be various plates and chains of lighter sheen. They seem to shine a bit blue, and they're a little bit shinier than standard steel. And he explains that these items here are made of mithril, stronger than steel, but half the weight as well. So for knowledge, that these items count as steel or variants of, so +1, +2, but weigh half as much and don't encumber disadvantage in certain regards. Some of the plating.
We may need to go to an early break here and see if we can.
We're gonna do that. Okay. Yep. So guys, we are going to. No, it's fine. It's a big technical difficulty, unfortunately.
Yet again.
We're gonna go to an early break here. We're gonna try and change servers for the Discord using the core. Yeah, that's one thing we can do. But I think they changed that with how Discord's voice servers now work. It's done on an individual basis. You can change. We'll get into that in our break. You guys use this time. Grab yourself a drink, stretch, whatever you need to do, and we'll hopefully see you in a moment. And we're back. Sorry about those technical difficulties, but we are back.
Apologize.
That was another
That's
technical
inconvenient.
difficulty. Anyway, if you missed the first half of our show tonight, our party delved into the library that none of them got the name of, forking over a bag of cash to try and source some information on the mysterious goings-on both worldwide and with Joanna. To some avail, whilst Zedaar progressed to go to the artisanal areas of the city, looking and meeting a very eccentric dwarf who had a very fine shop with a lot of fine wares, and he was just introduced to various sets of mithril armor. Very rare, but very light. Magically inclined metalworking. Does anything here take your interest?
So, these definitely seem to be of impeccable craftsmanship, and I will give you credit on that one. But for this,
Oh my god, they freeze again.
No way. No. So, if you're watching, guys, we've been...
Why am I still here? Just to suffer?
This issue basically went while we were on break, and
Midge, you're muted on Discord, by the way.
Yeah, you are.
oh,
Hey.
How long was I muted on Discord for?
Oh, since
Just a few seconds.
apparently the connection can actually detect when we're trying to get this done. Let's make this a little easier. Let's just kind of try and squeeze our way through this as effortlessly as possible. And Zedaar will ask very politely what these particular wares might go for, and then we'll just try and get beyond this as quickly as possible.
Okay, it just doesn't like this dwarf. So there's various degrees of mithril. So for the same, standard mithril, so it's just lighter, no improvement to armor.
Yeah, this is getting bad again. We can't even get through one line without it freezing. Ah.
Try muting your Discord, but not muting Twitch.
I don't have Twitch up because I'm on a laptop and only got one monitor.
Oh.
I mean, I can do that.
Are you saying it's is it worse when I'm talking and just me?
No, you all are all locking up, period.
Okay.
He was suggesting, why don't you bring up Twitch and just listen to what you all are saying via Twitch? Which I can do. There will be a slight delay on it, but just give me a second. Like, again, I'm on my laptop, so I don't have all the screen space I have.
Workarounds, people. Workarounds.
Yes, now I'm listening to workarounds via the stream. Hi, stream. I apologize that we're giving you all so many difficulties.
Just missed. I'll try that as well. It's now channel specific. We're override. We're on Europe. Let's go to Lambert. I hope you've got good internet because I'm going to be testing it now.
I'm in Finland, mate. Of course I do.
One can hope.
I've changed the location of where this call is
You're
hosted.
way better now.
Let's see if that always helps.
We'll get rolling and see how much the internet hates mithril.
Okay, so for standard mithril, no armor improvement. It's double book price for the lighter weight gear. And then plus ones, we're starting to work into the realms of magical armor, so it would vary depending on the armor piece and how much surplus or whatever they've got. But you also noticed looking at the sheen of this metal and looking to the piles of stacked barrage behind this man. He seems to have a lot of spare bars of mithril at the moment.
So, you also sell the raw material? Because I have an ally who I think might be able to do a great deal with it, and if it is a reasonable price, I may purchase that as well.
Well, I'm willing to part with some. Some of this is, I make up batches
of
of...
your entire stock.
We might be able to come to an arrangement on some of the things.
How much would going into +1 up the cost of a mithril item?
So, like I said, it would depend on what the item is. For example, with chain, not as much as it would plate.
Well, no, that's the thing, because there's a very huge gap between splint and plate mail.
Yeah.
So it's like, if I were to just go into like a +1 splint, I was curious how much that might end up costing. The starting price would be 400 plus whatever the enchantment was.
From this seller, would be 750 gold pieces.
750 is actually an extremely reasonable price for what I was expecting. Okay then.
Tell you
But
what,
that's because he has far more splint than he does anything else.
Well, that works out fantastic for me then. And I'm willing to kind of put that money in there. Sell this cheaper than buying plate mail.
I will tell you what. This splint mail seems to speak to me. How much would it cost to buy?
And I'll let, if you'll allow me to meta here a bit with Mordred, if Mordred would be interested in, say, how much mithril he might want to procure. If that would be okay with you.
Yep, no, go ahead.
And I'll say, like, yeah, no, I'll deal with this. Can I go check with my friend to see how much you might want to buy, and then I'll come back and finish the transaction?
Wondering something.
So, for...
While he's doing that, I'll just ask,
And also, we've been working on some constructions. He's a very capable smith and inventor. I don't suppose you have any metals that would be far more adept at, maintaining heat levels. He has this wondrous engine that uses steam and the furnace to power a cart. And if we could use something more efficient for that, I'd be very interested in what you might tell me about it.
So, okay, He goes on to explain that mithril as a property, it's is actually probably worse than standard steel for putting certain magical enchantments on, because mithril in very thick quantities actually works as the opposite. It works as magical resistance. It's better for that kind of thing, because it has almost because of the soft nature of the metal, it tends to absorb energy quite well. But it does also make that mithril is a very good conductor for certain things like electricity. And probably by some expanses, like heat. But he would say this because this guy made a very, very good check and is essentially also an artificer. He says that the better material for withstanding heat would be one of two other metals. One is called one is called dragon steel, and the other is adamantine, or adamite. Adamite is used to being very able to withstand and hold a lot of heat because it's made from metals from the cosmos, and naturally is under a lot more a high intensity of pressure of flame. And then dragon steel is a dwarven craft or also known as ebony steel or black steel, where it's steel infused with obsidian. And made with an obsidian power, giving it a blackened sheen, but also makes it very good at withstanding heat, and it has very, very high. High, is that the right one? High melting point. So it's like it would take a lot to melt it.
Or something like that out of. Fascinating. Zedaar will make some notes of that for telling Zep later. And Zep may already know all this stuff, but never hurts to get this information for his bud.
He does have a tiny amount of dragon steel as well. He doesn't have any adamite that isn't already forged into armors or weapons.
Perhaps I won't not that much, and I'm not sure if you would have much need for mithril, but I imagine a little bit of it would not be much. If I were to take, would I call it 5 ingots, 5 bars worth?
Okay. 5 ingots of mithril at this
That's
place.
That's like 5 pounds.
Yeah.
If he has ingots, if his ingots are 10 pounds, then I would just say the 1.
Oh yeah, no, he can do you one 10-pound bar. Which is technically one 5-pound bar because mithril's half the weight of a steel bar.
Let's get into the ramifications of that over a long period of time.
This is like one of those size jokes where they like send a normal cup through one, which comes in as a giant cup on the other end. So a 10-pound bar would be. You're looking at about 200 golds worth.
200 gold pieces for the bar itself.
Zep can cover that and would be willing to.
All right, I'll say Zedaar will say,
All right, the 10-pound bar, we will do that, because I imagine my friend will find some use for it at some point. He will be very happy for it. And as for the armor, I believe I will take that as well.
I'm going to pull out, to cover this, it's going to be, Zep will pull out the 200 from his party loot, because he said he's going to do that. It's going to be 100 from the party loot for me, though, and that's just going to be to get the armor. Because I'm a little...
Sure.
How much did you say it was? 750 or...
750, yeah.
750, so it's going to cost me 650, okay.
Also,
I'll use a little bit of the party funds to cover that, but I'll spend the rest of the money. So I don't totally...
My Syrinscape isn't... playing right now. Apologies for that. I will sort that. Yeah, I will get those into the party sheet, but... You may regather. Yes, and I'll get that into your sheet.
And I already marked off the 200 gold from mine.
Lovely.
I imagine he would farewell to the dwarf, thank him for the good deal, and then make his way and be like,
Zep, if you're a little busy, I would like you to take a look at this.
and just kind of set this 10-pound bar of mithril, that actually only weighs 5 pounds down.
It is mithril. I thought you might be interested in something like this.
Does have properties where it can contain magical powers. Well, effectively, it could be used possibly for some kind of jewelry, perhaps.
Perhaps. Or a shield if you wanted to put it in your face.
And he also just kind of like show the folded up splint mail that he has not quite had a chance to put on.
I also bought this for myself just because, well, I like the idea of not being pierced through the chest by something sharp, and we have already faced one dragon.
That seems like a very reasonable thing. I've recently upgraded bronze docent as well. Having better armor is always a better option.
It was somewhat expensive, but If you procured enough, I imagine you could do wonders for Braun. He also mentioned, and he'll go into detail, adamantine and dragon steel, two other metals that are durable with high melting points that might be useful for a more advanced engine.
Dragon steel would be a certain way of upgrading the engine, although at the moment I'm fairly happy with the engine. I would like to have some kind of cart-mounted weapon next, as I know that Ruby has been speaking of this before.
Certainly, I figured there might be not much knowledge here about that, but
And he'll just kind of pass over the notes that he took down.
if they are useful, use them. That is what they are there for. Otherwise, I believe we have done well here. Assuming the information you all have found has been quite extensive.
We have found... Sorry, go on.
No, I was just saying those items are in the party sheet now.
Cool. Yeah, I'm guessing we would need more than 10 pounds of mithril to upgrade Braun's armor.
Because he counts as full plate, yes. You've got about half a breastplate's worth.
Okay. Yeah, I think with the amount we have, we probably would be better off putting it as jewellery and then enchanting that. Would that give us a bonus with enchantment, actually, if that's the base?
Yes, it would. And it would have a higher chance of the thing is with mithril, because it has its own special properties as well. It would imply its special property. The thing is with mithril, it would depend on what the enchantment is. Because mithril is magically it's not magically resistant. It's magically absorbent. So for protection spells and protection magics, it's very good. But to turn a mithril ingot into a flaming sword is less so.
What about a jetpack?
Why a jetpack of all?
Because it would be lighter to lift.
The same as using aluminium.
Technically.
Yeah.
Correct.
Possibly.
It's not. If it like, aluminium is a lot lighter than steel for the same amount. If we're only talking about half as heavy.
This is when he gets hand waved in like 10 sessions when he finally has access to third level spells, and Zeb is putting on a mithril jetpack so he can cast fly on himself.
I can only do levitate, which is what I'd be more aiming towards, because I still think that there's going to be a big use for levitatable objects.
I'm just waiting for him to make like a Silver Surfer disc. Levitate.
Well, one of my ideas was actually to put plates underneath the cart, so instead of riding on wheels, it's riding on like a hover system.
You're making a maglev train.
Yeah.
It's a note to you as well, Valimir. He had weapons and other such things, such as jewelry, if you were looking to upgrade your glaive into something else.
I think if we are sticking around here for much longer, I would be interested in going to see what he has. For
If
sure.
you managed to rent the library for at least a day, I think we still have a few hours.
As I imagine at this point, Ruby would probably be like knee deep in her own personal research as everybody's just kind of off on their own.
She's been doing it throughout the day slightly, because the way we rolled it was a deception that she's been doing because she didn't want people to know she's researching on her own. So it's a little bit she's been doing throughout the day. So they all finish at the same time. You've got about an hour though before shops close in town, and night starts to fall as well.
There is, if Ruby is done before the day, one more thing she'd like to try to find and buy before the day is done.
Okay, what would that be?
Without anybody knowing, she'd like to go find.
You can
somebody
whisper to it to me then, if it's without you want people to know. Just /G/W and then all caps GM.
Okay.
You can message each other, by the way, in game by right-clicking people's portrait and hitting whisper. It's just for me, you have to go /WGM. Yes, like that. Right. Okay. Let me see. But give me a quick investigation check, Ruby. You are pointed in the direction of someone who purveys in those kind of items. And you actually find one. However, the price is high.
How much?
1,200 gold pieces.
Oh! I don't have that lying around. Do they take credit here?
Do you have that much in the party fund?
Oh, not without telling the party about it.
Nope.
You have to get Zedaar's permission for that.
Yep.
She let it go.
Okay.
Yeah, you'd have to talk to Dragon Daddy.
No,
The
we're gonna let
Bank
that
of
one go for now.
Zedaar.
Zedaddy.
Is anyone else doing anything with the last fleeting hours of the day? If not,
Yeah, I want to go.
I would show Valmer the
blacksmith.
store so he could check it out too.
Yeah, sure. Valmir, you are met by.
because I'm interested.
Okay, you both see the same eccentric dwarf. This time he's got a hammer that, as he hits into metal, a force reserve, like the hammer actually never meets contact with the metal he's working, and instead a layer of forced energy flattens the metal he's working. But yes.
Very interesting hammer.
Oh, you like it? Yes, I designed it myself. Well, we had the problem that sometimes if a hammer was worn, it would leave marking on the metal we're working. But this never leaves a mark because it's pure energy. You feel like a blow of the subtle heat of the magma that he's working over, like push towards you. It's not unbearable, but it's like opening an oven door every time this hammer strikes, because the force energy just pushes the heat away from it.
I was told by my friend here that you have some interesting weapons and armor. I was perhaps interested in long reach weapons, and I'm going to make my glaive appear in my hand. Something like this, but maybe looking for an upgrade.
What do you look like right now, by the way?
It depends. How many tieflings have I seen in this area?
Same as the Empire. We're still in the Empire.
Because when I was in the library, I wouldn't have had an opportunity to redo the disguise every hour? It's not one
every
time.
hour. It's every hour.
I wouldn't have had an opportunity to do that, so I would have had to have been tiefling in the library other than...
The library is probably one place where it wouldn't be weird that you weren't human. And this area is mainly dwarves, so who knows?
I'm gonna be a tiefling.
Okay. So you do all have magic tricks, okay? And he points to one corner. There's like a bucket that is just filled with like pole arms of various sizes. There's bill hooks, glaives. We got the bargain bucket over there, which we normally sell to militiamen. But then we've got some more finer crafts dotted around the building.
I'm looking. What is your prices for something made of mithril?
Mithril glaives? So I don't think we've got any mithril glaives. We might have a mithril pike or two. And if you're specifically looking for glaives, we do have one thing from the Kaitengian Empire, an import, an old heirloom thing. It's very pricey, though.
How much are we talking when we say very pricey?
About 2,500 gold. Sorry, I've slipped into your accent.
That is indeed very pricey. What is it? What does it do? Why is it so pricey there?
And he runs off a minute, and he just comes back, and he comes back with this gilded glaive, where the handle is a metal of, in some lights it looks deep gold, and others purest black, depending on what reflects it. And going up, the entire polearm is scaled like a dragon. The head of it opens into a dragon's mouth, which then, from the dragon's mouth, produces the glaive blade, which is bladed at the front, but also then jagged at the back. The metal of it also shines somewhat light blue, somewhat black. And there is gems set into the eyes of the dragon that look a deep purple.
You're describing my dream. The dragon there as well. Come on. Ah. Oh my god, this thing is absolutely beautiful. The craftsmanship, the design.
It was owned apparently by a great warrior prince of the Kaitengian Empire, and it's known as the Shadow Dragon's Justice.
Okay.
This is a +1 magic glaive that, as a bonus action, as a reaction, if a spell is cast at the wielder of this blade, you may teleport within 5 feet of the caster.
Oh, damn. I mean, I can't afford it at all. I even think if we pooled every one of our monies together, we probably couldn't afford it.
At this point, we have 2,000 gold left in party funds.
You do.
So we would have to come up with even 500, more beyond that.
Yeah.
Let me check what the party wealth is, because I can do that. Total party wealth in gold pieces, 2,537 gold pieces.
We'd have to literally spend pretty much every dime every single one of us has.
Yeah. How long have you had this weapon?
About 3 years now. Won it in a card game.
Is there anything other than coin that you were looking for that maybe...
Who's been talking to you, eh? Huh? He's now got his, hammer to your throat as he's jumped up and grabbed you by the scruff.
Fucking hell. What did he say?
Just calm down.
I think what my friend is trying to say is there anything you would accept in trade, not just money.
Favors, jobs, anything of that nature would also... Is there anything that you need doing that would be worth this amount?
Or a portion of this amount.
Or a portion of this amount, indeed. I am very interested in this weapon, but that price tag is a little above what I am able to pay.
Jumps off of your chest.
But as you noticed, and I'm going to make my glaive disappear again, I have certain skills, and as do my associates here.
I make
Persuasion check.
What I have here is a very unique set of skills. I can't do Liam Neeson.
Yes, those skills include give or die.
Not Liam Neeson.
Persuasion.
Yeah.
He's making
I will find
things.
I will help you. So
25.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
Oh, it's the cat.
Yes, it is the cat.
I might have some work for some brutally inclined individuals. Should they wish to venture deep into the old hold, I would be willing to maybe even part with this in its entirety if you complete this job. His wandering eye is just bouncing around at the moment, like checking all angles.
Tell me what the job is. I will discuss it with my associates, and then I can get back to you.
Many problems befell Dvorbaldur back in the days before they submitted to the Lienian Empire. It was not, whilst it was prosperous once, it was befelled by sickness and entities and invasion from all sides, and actually ended up having to swear fealty to protect not only itself but its entire existence. But deep within the hold there are various caverns that are closed off. I was doing some research and reading about one of the old chambers of creation, of artifice. Artisans used to work in there, and there was one thing in particular that I'm looking for. There is, in one of these chambers, guarded by a beast that has made its lair there, a suit of armor, which, if you brought back, I would happily part with this weapon.
What is this beast?
The problem is not many people have made it out. From what I hear, it's made of fire, though.
Be the first time we've noticed something that likes to spread fire.
I killed a dragon not 2 days hence. Fire is acceptable.
As the tiefling.
And I'm gonna
So I
make my
just look
eyes
at
flash
that,
red,
And
flash
like it's
fire with
Steve in
thaumaturgy.
Pet's head. Motherfucker, yet another thing that is immune to fire. Why? Why is everything immune to fire?
It's
It's
honestly,
not bloody fair.
it's pre-written. I'm so sorry. This has been
It's
here for
not gonna
ages.
affect her for very long.
No, I can't hurt fire immune creatures. I ignore resistance. I do not ignore immunity.
Not immunity, unfortunately.
Big
I
shit.
myself would be interested, if only to see what these caverns of artifice are like. I'm like
And
yourself, I'm a craftsman.
Ruby's not there, but she's just going, what kind of bullshit are these guys up to right now?
I think
No more
we go
bullshit that's
find-
already been gotten up to today.
You
Where
see,
is this cavern?
well, it would be off of one of the old holds, in past the, we have battlements on the lowest level, which you'd have to... I'd get you an adventuring pass, and you could go through the gating. And then it would be, well, I've got a crude map to the area, and I've sent parties before. They just haven't come back.
Well,
But if you think you're up to it...
confidence in us. We should
I
probably
believe-
get Ruby's consent, but I don't
Yes.
see any reason not to.
A couple of my friends who would be coming with me are not with me right now. So I must go and converse with them. But I am fairly sure that they would be interested in such an adventure.
Well, come back here, knock on the door. He points to literally a door, like, carved into the stone of the mountain. Knock on the door there, and if you fancy taking up the job, I'll get you an adventuring pass written up, and we can work on it.
Excellent. I hope to see you very soon then.
Yes. Now I must close shop for now.
Okie dokie.
And he...
I was wondering, could I rent the shop for the evening? There is some crafting I would like to do, and you have the capabilities here, I think, for what I need.
Give me a persuasion check.
And I will happily outline what I want to do. So the mithril that he sold earlier, I want to see if I can make that into a set of my own tools.
Oh, into some tools. Just your tools, or any particular?
So, I've been reading some magic items, and there is one I would eventually like to make, and this is like setting up for that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's the all-purpose tool I would eventually like to get.
The all-purpose
Which
tool.
is a ridiculous thing for artificers. It is absolutely absurd. And not necessarily a screwdriver, like this is just a set of tools.
I'm just looking up the all-purpose tool because I think I need to read this. Yep.
It does everything.
A simple screwdriver can
Automatically gives you
transform
proficiency in any tool.
Oh, any artisan's tool of your choice in the equipment shelter, whether the tools proficient with it. While holding this tool, you gain a bonus to spell attack rolls on the same level of artificer spells. Oh my god, so it's like an artificer's wand. It's a sonic screwdriver.
Yeah.
It is essentially a Swiss Army knife.
As an action, you can focus your tool to channel creative forces. You choose one cantrip that you don't know from any class list. For 8 hours, you can cast that cantrip.
You can steal Eldritch Blast from me?
Yeah. So the thing that I'm after right now is the +1, specifically for crafting checks, but if it's any check, then I would absolutely go for that. That's what I was kind of thinking Mithril might be able to do.
You can definitely start working on this, but such a thing might take a variety of components. Having a Mithril base, though, is a good start, I would say.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
You explain what you want to do. Give me a persuasion check at advantage, because this forge isn't just a standard forge, either.
Because yeah, I'm very much like looping it in, saying it was your hammer that gave me this idea, but a craftsman is only going to be as good as his tools.
That is
Oops, I just did the wrong thing. I did my own tool check. That's not persuasion.
Yeah, give me a persuasion check at advantage.
Yep, with advantage. Let's roll that again.
Just in case you get higher, but
19.
Only if I can watch.
Yeah, of course, I would be grateful for your own insights. You are clearly a man of great skill.
Lambert, don't make it weird.
Excellent. Okay, let me show you how the forge works. And then the reason there's another thing is he starts to explain how the two elements of this, because this is what is known as an elemental forge. He is using both the elements of the magma and the fire. There's the insane heat from the lava flow, plus the freezing quick frost of the taken from the very tops of the mountain here that he has extracted. To form both very quick heating but also a very quick cooling process, which removes some of the elements but also adds a little bit of trickiness to crafting with this. So for these checks you will have proficiency in this forge because he's there. So we'll do one of our normal crafting checks with the you need 3 successes before you hit 3 failures, and whatever you normally roll, add another +2 to it. But your DC is what is
you can
this
do
is an
+2
uncommon
beneath the
item.
chat as well.
It's a wondrous all-purpose tool. This is quite a powerful item. Your DC.
Well, no, it's an uncommon because it's only a +1.
Oh, so that's the same as what level 2 spell. So this is a DC 15.
I have a +10 to my rolls. That's a 24.
So that's 1 success. So this is going to be going into your night, Zeb.
Absolutely. Sure. That's a 17.
Okay, 2 successes.
Come on, crit. Yes!
Oh my gosh. Okay, Zeb, roll me a D100, please.
Is that just /R D100?
Yeah. No, /die D100.
I don't want to die. That's a 66.
Okay.
Can I presume at some point you guys are going to come grab Ruby?
Yeah, I would have.
that's what
come
Zepp and
straight
Lambert.
after.
Yes, yeah, Zepp and
Oh, okay.
the thing you're doing. Not
Valmir.
Zepp. Zedaar.
Valmir.
Yes.
Ruby will reach into her pouch and hand him a ring. It has a phoenix insignia on it.
It is very pretty.
Speak the command word, and you will be blessed with my power of haste. Once a day.
Oh, now that is incredibly helpful. I like that a lot. What is the command word?
Whatever you want it to be.
Oh, it has not been programmed yet. Well, in that case, to always remember where I got this from, I'm gonna look at the insignia. Would I recognize this as a phoenix?
It's definitely a phoenix.
The
it's hard to...
iconography is very. Phoenixes are
It's
used in
distinct.
heraldry everywhere as well. So.
Okay. Then the command word will be phoenix.
There you go. And Ruby will presumably activate that power for the ring.
So, Zepp, with that roll, you actually managed to retain some of the material. So you have about. You've only used half of your bar. Fucking artificers, man. Damn, I mean, you rolled a 30 on a natural 20. Like, how can you not? So,
And
no,
the scary thing is, I don't even have expertise in tools yet.
So,
You know,
Ruby, we were
I
at
created
this...
my own system for enchanting to balance things. Yeah, here we
It's
are.
an artificer.
I don't want to ruin
Ruby,
fun.
we were just at this forge that sold weapons and armor, and they have this incredible glaive. It is beautiful, it is magical also, and we also cannot in any way afford it. However, the master of the forge told us about a trade he would be willing to do for it. There is a suit of armor in one of the deeper portions of this hold that is guarded by some kind of beast. And if we are able to retrieve this armor, he will trade it for the glaive. And I really want this glaive. Can we go do it, please? Zedaar wants to do it too. And Zepp's all for it, but I need to ask you to.
Did he happen to specify what kind of beast it was?
He did not, unfortunately, no. He has sent other
Something that
parties,
is-
but they have not come back because they are not as badass as us.
Only that it is apparently something that is imbued with fire.
Oh,
yes,
then I
it
should
is.
have no problem dealing with that kind of creature. I can insult it with sticks and harsh language.
Zedaar, looking at Ruby, actually for the first time looks almost apologetic.
That's fine. I could use something to distract me. I've been studying this stupid book all day.
Be careful
Let
of
us go and
blame,
kick something
anyways.
ass.
We may as well go on down there and do some work while we're at it.
Sure. Zedaar, can I bother you for a moment? Should pull him aside. So there's a scroll I really want. Sorry. I need to talk to somebody. Something.
Oh. One.
Can I... It's personal?
Are you asking for my permission or my secrecy?
Yes?
This brow raise on that one.
My power came from an outside source. I did not wake born with it. It was granted to me somehow. And You can. Oh. And I want to talk to the being that gave it to me.
You need a spell to do it.
Yes. A spell I don't have access to. A spell that is here, but is expensive. Very expensive.
Would Zedaar know what spell she's talking about in this instance? I don't think clerics actually get access to this spell.
Yes, they do.
Commune? They
Yeah,
do.
you very much do. This is a fifth level.
I
This
thought she was going to use contact other plane.
Oh. I think clerics also get that. Since what's it called? Xanthars.
Okay.
I mean, those both work, but either way, the answer is
She was gonna try commune.
yeah.
You would have a better understanding of that one.
Well, there's no danger in it that I can think of, so the only danger would be what you may actually end up discovering about yourself. But I don't think that you're the type to be shying away from that sort of danger.
I'm not. But the reason I asked for secrecy is this creature just, when it was birthed, I should say, near me, an entire town was destroyed. I alone survived. And as far as I understand it, Nardathel has a warrant for my arrest, or at least back home.
See. How much of the money do you need?
500 gold plus or minus?
You are such a good spirit about helping Valmir with this. I do not see the harm in loaning you the money for this one.
Let's wait until we get back
Okay.
from this adventure. I may not need it at all. We may walk away with more riches than we know what to do with. We could be set for life after this mission, she says, unironically hoping that we're set for life after this mission. And not just getting
Winks at
Valmir.
her, not picking up on the intricacies of common and sarcasm, and just says,
If only. Alright.
Let's go.
We'll see how this goes.
Okay.
I will prepare my non-fire spells. Oh, wait.
Now we need to find our way deeper into the old city.
So, I guess as a party, you return to the dwarf where Zep is hard working on something over the forge. And you accept the contract. You write you a letter of adventuring to the deep holds below the city. And he said, well, whenever you're ready, head down to the very bottom. You'll be met by the giant black gate guarded by many people. One of the guard captains will probably ask for your letter of adventuring, and they'll put you through the side door. And here it is, a map that goes to... It's very rough. I haven't been myself, but apparently this is a map. I've got 10 copies of it. Towards where I need you to go.
For my own sense of well-being and curiosity, how many other adventuring groups have you sent to do this?
You probably don't want to know that one.
And yet I ask.
Quick persuasion check.
oh boy.
Actually, no, don't persuade. Only 5. Give me an insight check.
Insight check. All right.
That'd be the better way to do it.
I rolled a 2. Oh, it's a great day for Zedaar.
5.
With your with your natural insight, you think that's kind of right, but you don't know if that's the exact number.
I don't think that number is right, but I'm not sure how off that number is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably more like 6 or 7, right? Sure. Okay.
5 groups of 10.
Yeah, it's actually 5 groups of 10. He sent the whole regiment down there, and they just never came back.
Well, assuming that we survive and are successful, then I will trust that you will spread the word of the Skyfire Adventuring Company.
Oh, good, a name, just in case we lose you.
Zedaar is unabashed.
Well, do you want to finish this before we go down, Zep, or do we want to go down now?
Well, Zep will be working for us some more time compared to what you guys have done. And also, you'll be pushing to a point where if you start adventuring now, you'll probably incur some fatigue because you've been traveling and then shopping.
Yeah, we'll go
and everything.
in the morning.
I guess we spend the second day in the city.
Okay. You guys are stationed outside currently. Do you want to stay in town?
Yes.
Okay. You bring all the things in, you find space in an inn. Someone put down 10 silver to just cover everything.
I have that.
Oh, sorry. Joanna, you have a moment.
Yes?
I've noticed you've been a little distant lately. Is everything all right?
Everything is just fine.
Is she being sarcastic, or is this...
Make an insight check.
Sure. Am I getting the teenage rub-off? That could have came out way wrong.
Please.
Fuck's sake.
Oof.
That's getting clipped. That's never going to be unheard now. I'm sorry.
Please.
Blown off. That's any better.
No, it's not any better at all.
The cold shoulder.
Sure.
She's neither here nor there about that. You don't detect anything?
Okay. Well, we're going to be gone for a good chunk of tomorrow. So she will hand Joanna, was it about 100 gold? If you would like to go into the library, there is a great deal of things in there from old books and texts that you might be able to learn.
Her eyes light up. Thank you, thank you, Miss Ruby. I will spend... Oh my god. It's been a while since I've been able to read a book. Oh, I wonder if they have a fiction section. Oh, okay. I am very excited. Thank you very much.
If I can't earn her gold, or earn her reputation, I'll buy her reputation, damn it.
Hey.
Disney mom, what?
Probably Darius's retainers would...
Yeah, stay with Marjorie and company would keep with her, yeah.
Yeah,
Someone's
absolutely.
subtract another 100 gold from me. So.
Darius has made sure that Marjorie is essentially in charge of keeping things in order and keeping an eye on the young princess.
Okay. I think with purposes of brevity, we can just say long rest and ready.
Absolutely, no, that's fine. Before we go into that,
One retroactive thing. Could we have gotten a very, if he had permission, if he had access to it, could we have gotten an exhaustive description of the armor we're looking for?
Oh, yeah, so the notes, he's given you a map that is absolutely crudely drawn. But on the flip side of the of the map is the most beautiful technical drawing of this armor. Like,
I think that would be enough if I cast Locate Object to really hone in on it.
yes, definitely.
Okay, then that I will prepare that spell today, because that may come in handy.
Valmir, roll me a D20 luck check, please.
Oh, me?
Yes, you.
He clearly wants us to fail.
Tell me about it. 12! The luckiest number of all.
So, before we get on with the next day, everyone but Valmir, please remove your headphones.
Oh, yes. Nice knowing you, Valmir.
Ah, yes, the fun words of your party members. Hold on. I am... Valmir, you, in your deepest slumber, you begin to feel very warm. A warmth that takes you from head to toe. It's starting at your feet to inside your chest. And you're so hot that it puts you in a lighter slumber before you jolt awake. And when you awake, you are not where you fell asleep. No longer is the tavern walls surrounding you, but instead a cold room of both void and what looks to be black flame.
This is not where I fell asleep.
There is nothing but a bed, and as you stand up, you see just void away from you. In the sky above, a great purple tear, like a lightning bolt, fracturing in two at the tip, or at each tip, jolts above the sky, and through that tip, arms of, like, I don't want to say Cthulhu, but Cthulhu. Just because it's the easiest way to describe it. Like tentacled black ichor arms pulse through like an entity trying to reach through a void. There is no stars in this night, just these black flames which somehow stand out against the black void. It's bizarre. Everything is shades of purple, black, and pink, but still everything retains its form despite nothing being around. This bed is on a marbled glass-like floor that deep reflects the void above. So, you have claimed victims, my boy. I rumble through the atmosphere.
I would, who are you?
You carry my legacy, child. How dare you ask my name? I feel like you should know. Deep within you, you know.
Yes, I believe I do know who you are. It's very nice to meet you finally. Where were you the first couple of decades of my life? Would be nice to have a little bit of... Anyway, hi, it's nice to meet you. I'm Valmir. Hi.
Some things aren't always easy, my boy. The pure existence of our kind isn't something that the mortal planes love. And unless I'm there myself, connections can be iffy. Valmir, I have been watching you.
I hope you're not disappointed with what you see. I guess.
Continue. I thought you were done.
I'm stuttering.
I am pleased with those you have claimed me. The soul of a dragon. Oh, how its flesh in the afterlife burns.
I did enjoy that one. That made me feel pretty powerful. Not going to lie, I'm quite happy you like it.
Enjoy is not the least of your concern. Victims bring us life, bring you gifts. I wish to reward you, my boy.
I like the sound of that.
And I am just scrolling through some other notes.
Imagine at this point, Valmir is like balling his hands into fists so much he's bleeding from his palms.
And as you do, you look at your hands, and the blood floats out of you into the void and is just absorbed by the flames. The blood is black and filled again with an ichor. Could you quickly... the handout we use for your character, the generation of it, is that pinned? Sorry, I'm looking at so many tabs. Or could you quickly DM it to me?
On where?
Could you just send it to me on Discord, the one we use to generate you?
I don't know what you mean by generate me.
The half-race handbook.
Oh, right, yeah, no, I've got that.
Sorry. I know I've got it too. It's just, I'm floundering. I had it, and now I've, for some reason, closed it, and I can't find it, so apologies. But, you then... My legacy can be imbued into you more and more, the more souls you claim for me. If you claim them in my name, as the world around us fractures again, I can birth you more and more energy, which will benefit us both, child.
I will do what you will. I will take names in your name, even though I do not know your name, but I will take them in your name regardless.
So, using the guide. One day, my boy, you will learn, for I will be with you, next to you, walking hand in hand once again, and we will reclaim what should be ours. If you look at, I'm not using the same name here, but if you look Tiefling Zariel in that guide,
yep,
use that as you will. And then a hand of pure black flame emits from the void, touches you on the forehead, a burn mark forms, and you wake up. Dead of night, your friends in back in the tavern, in the home in the tavern. We tell everyone to come back. So, you all rouse the next day.
I made the point of preparing locate objects, so it should be easier to find the armor, hopefully.
I have prepared my cold spell.
Zedaar, give me a quick perception check.
Do I wake up and my mithril armor is tarnished? Oh, that'd be so sad. 23.
You notice a faint burn in Valmir's hairline. The scab is black. and you notice it just like beneath his white hair. Before it's gone when he casts his what's it called? Disguise self.
Velmir, what the hell happened to you? Did you fall asleep on the stove?
What do you mean?
Or will just like walk up and like rub a finger underneath the scar, the burn mark.
Ow, Valmir, ow.
Your fingers are so rough. Okay.
Burned yourself. How the hell did you manage to do that?
Oh, it must have been at the forge. I guess that was very hot in the magma to smelt things. That's crazy. I think maybe something burned me there. I don't know. Anyway, exciting day today. We're going to go and kill a beast and claim some armor. It's going to be amazing.
You know what? If you have to lie to me to cover up whatever it is, then I'm just not going to ask. You can have your secrets.
He's just gonna pat you on the shoulder and then walk away.
All right.
Yes, I'm gonna make a point of preparing locate object, and it also occurs we're gonna be fighting a creature of water. Does anybody want me to make sure I keep create with water prepared, just in case? You never know how useful that might be.
I mean, sure.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, so
will we be having Darius come with us, or no?
Darius wants to get a few things in order for now, but he may follow on.
Okay.
That works either way for me.
But you progress to the blackened gates at the bottom of the hold. You see, when you arrive, very fortified positions. Imagine a monolithic, if you will, a monolithic stone doorway. Easily 60 feet high. With, in front of it, almost a small castle built. Each with two side gates, which seem to be small enough for foot traffic, that seem to burrow through or have been carved into the door itself. And as you approach, there's many guardsmen hanging about, but as you approach, one of them halts and goes, "Halt! Who approaches the demon doors?"
Skyfire Adventuring Company, we are on a work job for the Deep Hold.
And you'll pull out the mark that we were given and kind of hand it over.
Another sad sack ready to go and die for some sort of treasure or glory. Okay, well, everything's in order. If you do come back, there's a bell on the other side. Ring it a couple of times and we'll open everything up. But good luck down there.
Paint me a picture, Midge. Is this like those individuals in Dragon Age that go down into the deep holds where all the Chinlocks and the Darkspawn live still? Like, is that how deep we're going here? Because I feel like that's the response we're getting for what we're doing.
With Zedaar's insight, you are getting levels of, this might be a little bit crazy. People are reacting like you are crazy to be going down here.
Oh, good. At least we're establishing some form of reputation for ourselves.
But you know what they say about crazy?
It's consistent.
Okay, but you are let through. A series of locks, bolts, doors, gates are opened, almost 10 gates thick, revealing this small passageway into a deeper tunnel. and you progress on through. The hole at the other side, as you progress on through it, it opens up into what seems to be an old ceremonial chamber. There are statues of dwarven rulers and braziers bigger than houses lining a thick hallway, where at the end another monolithic statue of what seems to be a dwarven king sits with a throne beneath it. You seem to be in an open throne hall. Not unlike those that have been described that still work and still exist in the current dwarven kingdoms. This seems to be the royal rooms of an age gone by, and you also see a lot of markers where it seems to be like painted on like old beautiful pillars. It just says like crude painted like arrows and directions of like West Holds, Deep Downs, and then there's certain pillars with doorways next to them that are just crosses. And your map distinguishes you to take essentially a right by the throne room down to one of these areas that is unfortunately marked with a cross.
Remarkable. What do you think this stuff is? And Ruby's actually got her journal out. She's drawing as best as she can some of the scenery that she's witnessing.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful, and it's a lot of this is carved out of basalt as well, or like a similar rock to it. So it's a deep grey and black, but the braziers and the oil and everything lighting them up it's producing a very grandiose environment for you to walk through.
A bit more adventurous goblins that have come through here than we can probably count, though, judging by the number of marks and signs that have been left for themselves and others.
Well, none of them have been us, and we have survived a great deal. It'd be awful to die for something silly like this. So, remember, we have a bigger task at hand. This is a side quest.
If it is too much, I'm okay. We go back, but it would be. I believe in those. These probably send chumps with no magical ability and no fighting chance, and then we are much better than that. We have powers and abilities and strength, and we've got this.
Ruby's just gonna slowly look at Valmir. When did you get confidence?
I had an interesting night. I had dreams of victory and power.
What was her name? Was that her name?
Didn't give me her name.
Victoria.
Well, whatever inspires courage, I guess. Better than beer. Let us gather our party and venture forth.
Hurrah.
Okay.
The class just materialized. That was amazing.
Well,
you just put your hand up, hurrah, and then suddenly there's a class.
I have attuned Hexbladely to my glass, and I can make it appear in midair.
If you would, whoever is helming the navigation of this, give me a survival check.
As much as I hate to roll, it would probably be me, because I got that confidence thing going on right now.
If Valmir wants to take the lead, he can definitely try.
I don't want to roll this, but it is what I would have done, and I'm sorry.
Do we have advantage because we have a good map?
For -1.
The map isn't great.
I am going to use my inspiration, not because I necessarily think like I need it, but it makes narrative sense.
Sure, I'm all for that.
Fuck it. What a waste.
So,
One thing I will add is as we're going through these tunnels, once we've passed the X on the pillar, I'm going to be marking in chalk at my head height, arrows going back the way that we just came from.
Okay, absolutely. You can do that. The progress is slow. These halls are long and filled with... Some of these halls are so big that even you, Valmir, with your devil's sight, you can look to the left and not see where there's a doorway. So there's a few times where you get to an end of a great hold and you're like, actually it must be one of the side doors around here. And yeah, it takes a while of like searching each room to find some places. So progress is slow, but you continue on until you are met by a chasm, or it's a chasm through an old hallway that has been eaten into by lava flow. And it seems lava flow is blocking your path. And on your crude map, there is a like a marker of fire, which you assume this is probably the fire they spoke of. However, it's about a 15-foot wide of lava instead. That is flowing like it's like broken through almost like not a ceiling tile, but an area of the ceiling. Broken through there, coming down the side, and then spread across the floor, and then out through this like other hole in the left-hand side of the corridor. You also see like half burnt up next to the lava is like a half charred skeleton. Where the pure ash heat has just... So, like, one side of it is the bleached white bones, so it's been there for a while, but the other half is just blackened and charred.
Bron,
have you any idea on how to get us over this lava with some contraption or other?
I can help. I have an idea, actually.
Oh.
Bron, how strong are you?
Depends what you need him for.
Well, could you carry
kilograms.
could you carry each of us one at a time?
Braun is not immune to fire.
Yeah.
Braun doesn't need to be immune to fire. I can cast Spider Climb. We could walk around it.
I suspect he could probably carry everyone except maybe Zedaar. If it was one at a time.
You're not muted, Beth.
That's just a lava noise.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I have been starving for the last couple hours.
It's all good. It's all good. We took an earlier break, which also throws things off. I myself have been munching, so it's fine.
Or I could cast Fly. That'd be easier. But if you have another solution, Zep, then I'm all for it. Despite
I think the idea of Braun climbing over the walls is a good one, and we could certainly tie each person to him, so it is less likely that he would lose his grip.
Yeah, Spider Climb will not lose it, so he should be okay. Unless you can forge a contraption. Can your grappling hook shoot something across? Can your launcher fire a python into a far wall and maybe?
Yeah. I actually like the spider climbing ability a bit more. It is similar to a contraption I have been working on myself, but not have for today.
Okay. Well, then let me make sure we have the time duration for this because I don't. It's 1 hour. Yeah, plenty of time. All right, Braun. You're the man.
I would say the first one to try would be to see if he can actually carry Zedaar. Let us see if he can lift him before we try this magically.
Sure. Can Braun carry Zedaar?
It's a very awkward moment as a character.
me a
I know
strength
Braun's fairly
check.
large. I'm not sure. I'm not sure of who's taller, Zedaar or Braun. Because I know Zedaar is like 6'6".
I have bronze size. He's actually relatively small for a Warforged, I think.
Yeah.
6'2".
So the most awkward, like, piggyback carry is Zedaar, like,
Could
climbs over his shoulders, wraps his arms around his neck.
could
The other
Zedaar
question is
pick
how-
up Braun?
What?
Could Zedaar pick up Braun?
Zedaar's not actually that strong. Not nearly as strong as Braun is, I'm sure.
How much space do we actually have to play with here? Like, what's the ceiling?
We have Darius with us, right? Could Darius not do it?
No.
Oh, Darius didn't come along. Okay.
Not yet. He's gonna try and follow on. It's about 15 foot square. So you're in a 15.
Whoa.
So the lava flow would cover the floor of a 15-foot cube, essentially.
I know what we need. We need lots of 1 meter cubed pieces of gravel, and then we put the gravel in the lava until we can build a path.
Okay, so what if I cast Battle Climb myself, or on one of you, and we nail pythons and rope into the wall and then climb across?
If
Is there a ceiling over where the lava is? How high is it?
15 foot up.
So what if you just did that? Tighten into the ceiling, use a rope, and we swing across. Or at the very least, I will swing across because it's so hard to carry me. The rest of you could be carried safely.
Oh,
Although-
sure.
Can we see how much lava is actually flowing into this? Like, what's the velocity?
It's not fast moving, but it is a constant flow.
How wide is this river of lava?
About 15. Well, at the top point, it's thinner, but when it hits the floor, it covers about 15 foot thereabouts.
So the other thing we could try to do is freeze the lava.
So this is a peculiar question for the DM. Could I cast Leomund's tiny hut and force bubble the lava, and then we can all go underneath it somehow? I don't know.
How long does it take you to cast?
It lasts
Leomund's
8
Tiny?
hours. Oh, ritual
How long-
cast is 1 minute. 1 minute.
Ritual cast is a minute for that?
Well, I'm sorry, 10 minutes. It's a.
Yeah.
It's a. I could cast it as a spell for 1 minute, or cast it as a ritual.
Yeah. So to block the lava flow with it, it would need to be by where the flow source is, which is essentially imagine you're looking at a cube. Be
Sure.
the top right of it, and it's flowing, and it's coming down the wall and flowing to the left and out the left.
Okay.
So you'd need to be in a place 15 where you could be 15 foot up to block it, and then you'd also need to be already under it for the lava to not just block whoever's inside off.
So, because it is a 10-foot sphere, I could get next to where it is, cast the spell, and it would poop around me.
The center, because the thing is, because the center isn't necessarily 15. Like you're thinking of this in a 2D sense when it needs to be 3D.
Okay.
So imagine that this now is the wall. The lava flow is going like this, and then flat, and then down. So it's starting at
talking
a
about
smaller point and then coming out.
I
Yeah.
think she's just trying to create like a larger place where it blocks some of the flow, and then we can climb over and then jump across.
Block the lava flow from continuing. I'm trying to plug the hole.
You can certainly
I thought
try.
I thought you were trying to use it like a makeshift bridge where you conjure it and push the lava aside, and then we could just climb over it and then jump to the other side. Because
Can you decide when you yourself and others do and do not pass through Leomund's tiny hut.
Once I cast it, it's any creature that I designate can pass through it.
Okay, so you can technically say no one. The next thing is, how do you get it to the center of the lava flow? To do so...
Well, I would spider walk to the top.
Okay.
And block it.
Why do I not just throw vials of freezing at the entrance where this
Because
is flowing in?
that might work, but the lava is still flowing.
Or I could throw it where we wish to pass. A little bit more dangerous because we do not know how deep it is.
I could also use Ray of Frost on it as well. Combined, we might be able to freeze the...
Because it is just rock, we just need to make one area where it is stopped.
It is flowing into the room, and it's flowing out of the room as well. Like, there's
Yes.
not a visual
Yeah.
lava buildup.
Yeah, it's flowing out.
I mean, for that same logic, we could just put pythons up on the wall the opposite side. Or just not pressing the wall and just climb around.
That was my original idea.
I think I like this one more.
I do too.
Certainly rig some kind of contraption to make sure we do not fall.
If you can shoot a python into the ceiling from here, then I can use my mage hand to loop some rope through it, and in that case we may not even need to use any spells upon getting over this obstacle.
Oh, I would need to use a spell to launch it, but this is agreeable.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, then do we have any pythons?
I do.
Then I will take one of your pythons, I will load it into my bazooka, and then I will fire it at the ceiling.
How high is the ceiling?
15 feet.
15 feet.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not big at all. That's good.
Okay.
And then the next thing I will do is, if any of us have any water, we should definitely put the rope in the water so it is wet.
Yeah, I'll use my water skin, I guess.
Up in the water skinned over it, sure.
Ding. It takes. The piton has been projectiled into the roof, into the polished basalt. Boom. It seems to have stayed.
Okay, rope. And Ruby will hand Lambert the hempen rope. Ruby's got a bunch of stuff she hasn't used. This is nice.
I'm going to cast the mage hand and get the mage hand to hold the very end of the rope and pass it through the python. A python's like a spike with a loop on it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to pass the rope through the python, then grab the end of the rope again and bring it all the way down. So we basically got like the whole loop, right? We've got both ends of the rope.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Who wants to go first?
Somebody who is more resistant to fire, just in case this goes terribly.
Okay then.
It's only lava.
I am going to tie a length of rope around my waist as well.
Only lava coming from someone who is a DM who probably knows the stats of lava damage is the joy in that sentence.
Do you want to know the stats of lava damage?
Oh, I know. They're on my screen.
Okay. Hey Lambert, don't roll a 1.
Hey Lambert, how's that inspiration you just... Oh.
Oh no!
Yep, no, I was just thinking about that one.
So, what is Valmir doing?
I'm tying some rope around my waist as well. And making a lot of slack, and then giving the other end to Braun.
Okay. Braun,
Not to be that girl, but how do you untie yourself when you're swinging across? You just quickly...
No, that's why there's lots of slack, so I can swing all the way across. And then there's rope on each side, like a rope crossing the whole thing.
Okay.
And Is there anything I can do to make this not suck?
I am also going to throw a couple of vials of my freezing liquid on the top of the lava, so if there is an accident, there will be a surface to land on, at least, and not simply sinking.
Mm-hmm. And you see some... As the molten rock cools a little bit, there are some floating piles. But the instantaneousness that the frost broke away, that is still hot.
I'm
me
going
try
to cast Armor of Agathis upon myself.
Hey, at least it'll melt first.
Mm-hmm.
Actually,
And-
I'm going to try something just to see if it helps a little bit.
Zedaar, because I have a cold breath weapon of up to 15 feet. Or no, sorry, they changed it. It's a 30-foot line. It's a 30-foot line that's 5 foot wide, so 5 foot presumably. He's just going to breathe a line across the lava of cold
Okay.
to see if he can't cool a section of it for a brief bit.
It cools with the magical ice breath, and the flow stops for a moment, and then the lava and begins to harden and slows, and then the still flowing lava layers on top of it.
But it is a very slow progression, isn't it?
It is still a slow progression, so there is time.
Can you do that as I'm swinging also?
Honestly, at this point, we may be able to just jump across. Zedaar will be the brave one. He'll just kind of... Actually, I'll do a second one just to ensure that this is about as solid as it gets. Because I can do this 3 times a rest.
Also, could you give me guidance?
I'll pat him and says, Bahamut will be with you. As Zedaar just kind of moves to like hop across to the middle and onto the other side.
I'm going to swing
I'll
across.
be the guinea pig for this since this was my stupid idea in the end.
Wait, so you're doing this? You're swinging?
No, he was just gonna see if he managed to. He's gonna give it another breath to see if it couldn't coal solid, and to see if he can't just get one good hop to the middle and to the other side.
Okay.
I know
It would
it's a
still
terrible
swing.
idea.
Swing it! This is a safety net. Swing!
Yeah, I was going
Okay,
If
to
you want to
swing.
swing, then I will swing. Fine.
Okay, I've got fire resistance. I think I should probably go first.
Give me a dexterity check. It's a DC.
Me first.
It's a DC 15.
A dexterity check.
Wait,
Yes.
said-
Or acrobatics.
Well, I got
Or I
14
will
plus
I will
1, so
allow
15.
athletics. You make it. It looks a little bit hazy, but you do make it across. However, give me a Constitution saving throw as well.
Natural 1.
Okay. The pure heat that is being given off by this area scalds your back, and you take ooh, just okay. You take 9 points of fire damage. As the flames lick up just as you fly across.
Oof. Cold breath didn't do much more for that, I guess.
Oh,
well.
it did a lot.
Okay.
There's proximity that kind of proximity to lava is no joke either.
I'm gonna
Feel
swing
pretty
across.
hot.
I'm gonna swing across.
Okay. Give me a dexterity, acrobatics, or a. I will allow athletics as well.
They're both
you're just trying
the
to-
same. They're both the same. No. Okay.
Make it across. Now give me a Constitution saving throw as well.
Oh, I don't care about this one. I'm good. Hang
Oh,
on,
you do.
save.
You still do.
Fucking 8.
You take 7 points of fire damage, halved because of your natural resistance. As again, fire and heat, just the intensity of the lava.
So it melts a bit of the armor of Agathis.
Oh, you've got, yeah, you weren't as bad. say take 2 in the end, because the armor of Agathis as well, pure cooling. You are wearing frost, essentially. But get rid of the armor of Agathis.
Oh, so I take 10 points of damage then.
Yeah. It melts it, essentially.
Yeah, it did its job. It did, yeah.
Who was next?
Oh, hold on. We gotta check that. So instead of taking 3 points of damage because he's resistant to the fire, he took 12 points of damage because he had armor of Agathis.
Well, the armor of Agathis gives me 10 temporary hit points, and
hang on.
now gone.
Yeah.
So
it would have been 8.
Having the protection actually made it do more damage.
73 after. No, okay. No damage, but get rid of armor of Agathis.
Yeah, it's still 10 points of damage.
It's still doing way more damage than if he hadn't used it.
True.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's basically taking 2 hit
Remove
points
the
off.
damage from remove the armor. Remove the exact damage from our armor of Agathis. Let's do it that way. That's fair. Sorry, my head is a little not working.
It's like that seems.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Not using
It would have been incredibly necessary if I'd fucked up the athletics check.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Well, we can sit around here all day. You guys have to come across too.
Yeah, who's
Yeah,
next?
I guess Ruby's next.
Okay.
Can I make acrobatics?
Absolutely.
Don't die, Ruby. Yeah, there we go. 18.
Okay, and a Constitution saving throw as well.
But
You
I
make
like
it
fire.
You make it across absolutely fine.
I'm actually not too worried about that one.
And
yeah,
again, you managed to avoid the heat of the flame.
it doesn't seem to bother her very much for some very peculiar reason unrelated to her class.
Who's next?
Braun, but I will be on his shoulder.
Okay. Athletics.
20.
Boom, makes it across, and a Constitution saving throw from both of you.
On save.
Braun is not affected by the heat. And neither is Zep. Clean across. And the party is across.
And you detach the rope so we keep it.
I mean, we can just pull one end of the rope and it'll, because it's not tied on at all. It's just looped through, and we had hold of both ends.
Okay, we take the rope back. Let us continue.
Okay. You continue through the halls. Who is making the next navigation of this path?
I'll try.
Yeah, my confidence has melted.
along with your armor.
I'm choosing to believe the piece of the armor of Agathis that melted was all around my tail.
Hey, at least you didn't end up in the drink this time.
Oh,
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Much the same as before, with the map being less detailed, more directional. It takes you a while, because sometimes this, again, opens up into larger halls again, and also the area is assailed by lava flows again, which weren't initially described on the map. But eventually, you begin down a corridor which has actually been marked before by a previous adventuring party. There's a small white chalk outline of a shield and an arrow towards it. And ahead lies the room in which you think the armor stands. A door ahead of you is open ajar, and you see the glow of flames.
Before we go in there, I could double check to make sure this is it. Or we could just look.
Ruby's gonna check for traps.
Okay. Go ahead and check for traps.
What check do I need to make?
How are you checking? Are you taking time and investigating, or are you just giving a quick once over with your eyes?
Just making sure, looking for tripwires, pressure plates, arrow holes.
Give me a perception check then.
Sure.
Can I use my mage hand and have prod
clear.
at the ground with sticks and stuff, so I can give Ruby advantage on that?
Oh, good. That'd be nice because it's a 2.
Like using my mage armor to prod at the various places where she thinks there may be traps.
Okay, sure.
I will roll once more. Perception. 11.
Okay. You don't see anything. This is kind of a bare corridor. And it would be really easy to notice if something was, to stick out here.
Okay.
There may have used to have been traps, but the previous adventurers that come down here may have set them off.
Perhaps. But considering how our previous punching bag is currently taking a nap upstairs, I think, Valmir, you should be the one to open the door.
Alright, let's do this. I'm going to use my glaive, get it, make it appear, and then I'm going to push the door open with the glaive.
Okay.
And peer inside.
And inside you see... First thing you see ahead of you, a giant statuette dwarven head made of pure gold, which in its mouth a furnace lay. And then you notice a load of pathways and areas which look to be parts of an old forge that have since broken off. And below these raised platforms you see pools of lava. You also see a number of creatures inside. Haven't quite noticed you yet, but they themselves as well glow with fire.
Because of course they do.
Semi-snake-like in appearance.
Because of course they are. 2 things Ruby hates. Fireman creatures and snakes. Hey!
I'm away from the shit I'm afraid of. There ain't no water next to this lava. Let's be perfectly clear about this.
Give me a quick stealth check, please.
Ah, shit.
Everybody or...
No, just whoever's near the door.
They don't see shit.
They don't notice you yet. And I will quickly show you the map. Let me get this set up for you here. And you will be able to see before I essentially opening place your token. Let me get your tokens, guys, on the map quickly, and then I'll share the map with your... 2 seconds. In the meantime, just so we have it ready, why don't you all roll initiative?
How does one do that now?
So, because it's the first time we've actually rolled initiative ourselves, you go into the main section of your character sheet, and in the center, near your AC, there is initiative, and there's a dice roll to that.
Oh, I don't need to
Valmir.
roll one for Braun. Never
You
mind.
don't need to roll one for one.
Thank you, Valmir. Thank you. Thank you for validating my concern about doing this.
Nothing has changed, but I had agency.
Damn it.
Congratulations, you have no one but yourself to blame now.
And
Nothing has changed though. Nothing has changed. There's nothing
Yes,
to blame
but now
here.
it's your fault.
Yeah, but I'm okay with that. At least I can't blame the computer.
And yes, you should.
Not only that,
let me
I'm 11 points behind the person ahead of me.
To be fair,
As far as
so
you
is
know.
half the party. There are a lot of 18s in this initiative.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are. I'm trying to find the map. There we are, I can share this record. Right, you should now, in your images, be able to find Dwarven Forge. But yes, so those of you watching, let me get the map up as well. This map is created by Spell Arena on Patreon. Definitely go check them out. We're patrons of theirs, and boy do we love their maps. And thank you for creating this map. This particular map, called Dwarven Forge, is available as a video version, where you get an animated map. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to implement that. So we have got a static version of this map. But the animated version is very cool. So if you use VTTs, definitely go check them out.
It's badass. This map's cool.
No, it's
But
not.
yeah.
It's very hot.
I mean, you know what? Yep. No, you got me
It's
there.
like free action to push the Ruby into the lava.
But currently, guys, you have not been spotted. Valmir has expertly guided you in here. So I will allow you to set yourselves up within relative order up to that first boulder that you see on this opening plinth. If you once you can see the map.
Instead of moving into the room, as people are starting to push by, could Zedaar use his free turn to basically just use a quick buff spell on the group?
Possibly, but if there's verbal and semantic components...
I would use that as my surprise round, if that's fair. Like, I'm fine just waiting to my surprise round to do that.
This is... yeah, you might have to wait to your surprise round if you get
Sure,
one,
that's
because, you know, that's verbal and semantic components, you might give the game away.
Yeah, I'm okay with where I am.
Okay.
The only thing I would do is another a spell as well, verbal somatic. So just I guess, like I say, I would probably crawl up to the rock in front of us.
Okay.
You know what? No, we'll stay where we are as well. Sorry, cancel that.
Sorry, let me...
It's fine.
Let me...
You want to be in front, I'm on his shoulder. All good.
Yeah, fine. Okay, so Zep, you're actually up first. You do get a surprise round.
So what are we doing? Are we attacking?
We're going to have to kill them in order to get out of here.
Then we are attacking. I am just going to double check one of my spells. What is your range? Does it really not say the range? Well, that's a bit annoying.
Frostbite 60 feet.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. I think so, yeah.
Perks of a game full of DMs.
Oh, there it is. Yep, 60. All right, so in that case, I think that we are going to move up to here.
Also, just be aware you have Brawn targeted.
And then Zep is going to throw a frostbite vial at the big salamander directly in front of us.
Okay.
Actually, no, he's not. He's going to throw it at that snake, because that's going to be harder for us to reach.
Okay. Go for it. You throw your vial. Unfortunately, you throw it and...
Failed the save.
Oh, sorry, you're also targeting Braun, still.
What? Just...
But if it failed, go ahead and do damage. Sorry, I misread that. I thought it was an attack roll.
Where's this? Huh? I don't have Braun selected.
You don't anymore. It seems to have gone.
Yeah, you did earlier.
It was
Okay,
weird.
I
It
have
was
no
for
idea
the
what
roll.
happened there.
I think maybe it lagged. Maybe there was an input lag there.
Oops, shit, my bad.
I pressed the damage button, but nothing happened.
Okay, there's definitely that's rolling now.
There we go. Nice.
And as your vial of antifreeze essentially splashes into this creature, the cold rips through its fiery hide and freezes some of its ignorant flame, looking to do a lot of damage to it. It was hit heavy by that.
Oh, damage definitely does extra. Use cold if you have it. That's me done.
Okay.
Oh, and I'm going to use my bonus action to tell Braun to take the dodge action.
Okay. Braun is taking the dodge action. Also, yeah, I need to make Braun's initiative the same as yours, which is 19.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Ruby, you.
Ruby is going to move to here.
Okay.
And she's going to put her hands together and start muttering an incantation. You've seen it before. It's great. It works every time. She's going to whip out a chromatic orb and infuse it with cold power and then ramp it up. And she is going to launch with advantage because this is a surprise round and I am stealth, yes?
Currently, yes.
We're going to attack. Make sure I click. Okay. I'm selected. Target him. 40 feet. Okay, cool. We're going to throw a chromatic orb with advantage at this guy.
Go for it.
Hell yeah.
Ramping it up. Heck yeah!
Oh, that was so close to a nat 20.
That was so close to a nat 20, but it also you dropped to 2, so that advantage really helped. Go ahead and roll damage.
It's going to feel some sting.
Really is.
Double.
This thing was just slapped hard by the cold damage, like just erupting over its hide. Its attention is caught and the pain is real. Flakes of its skin and fiery hide break off as your chromatic orb plunges into the side of it.
And she's gonna move back to here.
Okay.
And that is her turn. And she waves her hands away.
Zedaar.
Civilized.
Zedaar, who is just watching this unfold and seeing these creatures recoil and shriek in pain, just says,
Who the hell did they send before us?
he's going to move up to behind the rock as well. And instead of being Mr. Awesome and doing all the damage, which could be fun, I'm going to cast Bless at 2nd level. Unfortunately, if one person doesn't get it, I'm not going to give it to Zep because his saving throws aren't going to benefit much from it. But we're going to give Bless out to all those good and to where's my plus. It should be targeted, so everybody should get Bless. And that's going to be my turn.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Valmir.
As my bonus action, I am going to target this salamander and cast Hex upon him.
Okay.
And then with my action, I am going to send 2 globules of purple energy flying from the tip of my glaive straight at the beast.
Okay. Go for it.
And these
Roll
are
them bones.
Advantage. Does a 26 hit?
Hits, roll damage.
Oh. And it is this much damage. 17. And then I need to reapply the hex because annoyance. And the second hit needs to put advantage again.
This thing is looking hurt.
Is hit.
That hits,
And
roll
then-
damage.
I think I rolled the wrong... Oh, I was using my glaive there by accident. I think it's the same. Let me just double check just a moment.
Either
rolled the
way,
wrong one.
I think you're gonna hit it with just the natural dice and the bless. So, roll damage anyway. Yeah.
Okay.
These things are large. They're not hard to hit.
The only difference is take 1 damage away. If it died with only 0 HP,
It's
it's
by
alive with 1.
one.
I think it's alive because my glaive is 1d10 plus 5 and Eldritch Blast is 1d10 plus 4.
It is.
I think it's alive then.
I think it is. This thing is on death's door, though.
Fuck!
But... Zep, your turn.
Think I should probably repeat what I have just done. Yeah, I think this is a good idea.
Okay, go ahead and roll them bones. Or should I say force me to roll them bones? I succeed.
Well, that is unfortunate. And hey, Braun, keep that shield up, please. Dodge action.
Ah. Yeah, no worries. Is that the end of your turn?
Yep.
Okay, Ruby, over to you. You're muted.
Ruby's gonna step forward. All right, that worked the first time. Let's see if we can do it again, but better. And she is going to channel her Phoenix Fire once again as two chromatic orbs ramp up as she is going to twin cast it.
Okay, mark down those sorcery points.
Yep, one here, one here. Third level spell slot expended, and here we go. I'm going to use my DM inspiration.
Okay.
Pew! What? That was cast.
Yep, that's fine.
Those both hit.
Okay, those both hit. Both
I'm
roll
assuming.
damage. You're targeting one of the fire snakes. Do you know that, right?
Yeah, twin cast.
Cool,
I'm shooting it.
Yeah, I
Because
just...
I'm assuming the other this other salamander is so close to death somebody could sneeze on it. So
Oh, I see.
kapow!
Bam. The small fire snake on the side is obliterated and just freezes over and plunges into the lava. The other one takes a chonky hit and, again, aggressively looks towards you.
Well, Ruby's gonna aggressively step back where she came from. And that is my turn.
Okay. It is the fire snake. 5, 10, 15. It gets to there. As this thing jumps down and plunges into the lava and then starts climbing back up. It doesn't get all the way there. Actually, no. It's going to burn its attack action and get all the way in. You see this fire snake, which is now emitting heat, just... like line up to attack Braun and Zep, but does not make a move to do so. Zedaar.
These things have shown that they really don't like cold, and they seem like they really want to engage us. Zedaar's going to move to here. I'm going to hold my breath weapon for when another one or two of these other creatures form a line with this one in front of me.
Okay, sure. So the trigger is
If
line.
more than one of them comes within a 30-foot line.
25, 30. Okay, yeah. Sure.
And that will be my held action. That's my turn.
Valmir.
Velmir is going to send another globule of hellish purple energy towards the salamander.
Go for it.
Starting with another hex, because you need to keep freaking redoing it. And this time I'm going to actually use Eldritch Blast. No advantage this time.
Nope.
But it is still a 23 to hit.
That hits.
And I believe it's dead.
It isn't.
Kill Stealer.
Yeah. With my action that I can fire 2 Eldritch Blasts.
You can
Can
target
I
another
put a
target,
bonus
yeah.
action? Yeah, can I put a bonus action in between or no?
I don't know if you can split an attack. Yeah, I suppose you can. Yes, you could. Yes. I was just
In
trying to
that
think.
case,
You can when you're firing a bow, so yes, you can with Eldritch Blast.
In that case, I'm going to transfer the hex upon the next salamander. Actually, hex, what's the range of that? 90 feet, yeah. And then send the second Eldritch Blast in his direction.
Sure.
So, hex him. It is a hit 15. And then shitty amounts of damage. 9 damage.
Okay. It is the salamander's go. It's going to move within the 5 feet. 30 feet, sorry, Zedaar. So
So I will get to target.
how many breath weapons do you have? Because I thought you used them on the lava.
I get 3 now because my proficiency bonus went up.
Of course, yep.
So this is my last one. I did use 2 on the lava. I'll go ahead and mark the last one off.
Then go right ahead.
When I did that, it disappeared. Crap. Hold on. And we will make saving throws.
The
success.
fire snake succeeded, but the salamander failed.
That's cool. Oh, it was really bad damage too. Oof. But it's 6 points of damage, which half.
Fire snake dies, but you do take 1d6 fire damage. Well, no, it's not a melee weapon.
Yeah,
It's not a melee weapon.
Breathing cold on it.
Yeah, no, you don't. Yeah. Okay.
The thing that succeeded is the thing that died. Oh well.
Yeah.
That's my reaction.
Oh, it still doesn't get in range. Okay.
He's in the range of me.
It ends its turn.
Really bad. We have bullied this encounter.
At the top of your turn, Zep, make a Constitution saving throw as the heat of the room begins to take hold.
One is for me. This one is for Braun.
You are fine for now.
This fire
Make your turn.
powers me.
6 won't survive forever.
As your gun just goes off.
Yeah, and it is funny as you say that because I do level the arquebus, not the arquebus, the blunderbuss, at the salamander in front of me right now, and I will take a shot.
Go for it.
Boom. That was a rather bad shot.
Yeah, you missed.
The heat of this room made the gun.
Team
premature.
America style, where you try to shoot the target with a rocket launcher and it destroys the Eiffel Tower in the background. You see the blunderbuss bullets like shrapnel part of the giant dwarven golden head's face, like into the eye socket that just splinters gold, or gold-plated hardened metal because gold would surely melt in here. Gilded metal just shrapnels against the back wall.
Well, I will then start rapidly cranking the gun again so it reloads quickly and take another shot.
Go for it.
This time is a 21.
Which hits. Roll damage.
Boom. That is 13 points of damage.
Decent hit. Very decent hit. This thing is looking pretty rough.
And that
And-
is...
Your turns.
Braun still can go.
Oh, of course. Because it's bonus action to activate Braun.
Braun would say he is going to attack.
Okay.
And I'll say, Braun, finish this.
So you are occupy the same square as Braun, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Go ahead. Roll for Braun.
And there it is. That is a 22 to hit.
That hits. Roll damage.
4 points of damage.
Okay. As Braun plunges his weapon into the salamander, a wave of heat is let off from its hide, and Braun takes 9 points of fire damage as it licks up his body.
Try not to get too close to these things. Done.
Okay. I think this is gonna be Ruby.
Single finger, chromatic orb, much lower level. Pew!
Go for it.
Why will you not scroll up, game? Please work with me. There we go. You are selected. Cast. Oof.
That misses,
14?
unfortunately.
Oh, must have. Ruby
As
just
it's
looks
not the
elf.
face that it misses, actually. It's like the orb flies out and the salamander is ready this time. It has been hit by this thing. It is not going to take another. It's seen all of its comrades fall, and it just uses its spear and just kind of deflects the orb down into the lava below.
You're going to make this difficult, are you? Well, you're still
Question.
going to die.
You speak primordial, right?
I do, in fact.
You hear I must die to guard my brethren's tomb.
Ruby is responding in Ignan.
Ooh. Make a
If that's how
baker.
you spell it. Yeah, that's how you say it. Spell his name. I'm not quite
Yeah,
sure.
it's with a like a minus sign between. I can't ever remember what that punctuation is. I use it a lot. A hyphen.
Tack.
Yeah. Give me an intimidation check.
Oh, okay.
Using your lore to name drop certain fire deities.
Yeah, 16.
It looks at you and then glares. Is that your turn?
That is my turn.
Okay. Zedaar.
I actually understand Ignan, but for some reason they didn't pop up
Shoot.
for me as understood in chat.
Oh, it's because she spoke primordial rather than ignorant, and it is.
I
different
don't
on
have
the-
primordial at it.
Yeah,
That's-
you've
I
got
should
the
probably add
break.
that as a
Yeah,
side thing.
you've got the breakdowns. Yeah.
I will have primordial as well.
Well, I will whisper you what she said specifically here in a second, or Midge can.
Zedaar, wondering what this thing means about its brother's tomb.
I can see that, by the way.
Yeah, I'm trying to clear that. Sorry, that's. Oh, did I just
Buy
clear all of
everything.
chat? Yeah, fine. That'll do.
Okay.
Fastest way of clearing that. Sorry.
This instance, these creatures are. Well, this place is not a nice place, and these creatures. Guilt is getting to Zedaar, and he's so pacifist. Fuck! Why did I make a pacifist? He would attack. he would say he's gonna make a nature check to see what he knows about these creatures to see if he just made a horrible mistake.
Go on then, give me a nature check. Or a religion check, either one.
8.
This looks like an entity of pure evil and elemental hatred, staring down your friends.
He's my action to make the nature check, so he's just kind of taken aback for a moment, caught, like wondering, like, wait a second, did I fuck up? So that's his turn.
Okay.
Zedaar, fight them!
Valmir.
I'm going to take my glaive and rest the palm of my hand upon the blade, and the blade will start glowing with a very intense white radiance as I cast Branding Smite. And with that, I am going to hit this creature.
Okay.
Who still has the hex upon him, so I need to...
It does indeed.
Hex. Branding Smite. And... Glaive.
All the special things coming out now, guys. That's
Does a
it.
29 hit?
It does indeed. Roll damage.
Quite indeed, okay.
That's not even a crit. Wow.
That was with a 2 on the standard damage die as well.
And I am going to hit him with the second one. I assume Branding Smite doesn't cast.
Yeah, no, that's gone now.
Yeah, okay.
That's gone now.
Oh, yeah.
Good job. That's an automatic miss. So, the first one, boom, lands straight on this thing's like beaked face, and as the white light bursts off of its face, and then in your blaze of glory, you don't even look, and you jab forward, and it's like, and then you look back, and its head is like completely in a different location, just staring at you.
Oh, actually, I shouldn't have actually took that. I don't have 2 attacks with the glaive. That's my bad.
Oh.
It's a good job I missed. Yeah, my bad. I didn't.
Fine.
I was like, flourish.
And then
Yeah,
Ruby's just going to say, told you.
Yeah. But yeah, is that your turn?
Yep, that's bonus and action. Yeah, it is.
It's the salamander. The salamander has entered your dungeon. Okay.
I need an adult.
Keeper. Great game.
Okay, let me clear my targets. So... okay, it's going to make a multi-attack. So the tail is 10. So it's going to jab out at Brawn with its spear for first. Which is a natural 20.
I'm sorry I didn't kill it.
Doing... Hold on. This hasn't been implemented very well. It's got multiple damage types. Oh, it's because it is using it two-handed. Okay, I see. Doing that, and a further should be another 3 on top of that as well. So is that 27? 30 points of damage. As this spear plunges into Brawn. And then it's making some... And then its tail starts flipping about. One is going towards Zep on the back of Brawn.
Reaction. Deflecting that attack, so he has disadvantage.
With disadvantage on this attack. Okay. Still hits you.
Oh, wait, hang on. 17. You know what? I'm going to bonus action shield.
Okay. Take that damage back off then. And it bounces off, and then it's going to go for Valmir. with its next one.
Oh, it's got 10 feet of range?
It does.
Boo.
And that's a miss.
Yay.
Yeah. That's its turn. Zip. This thing just hurt your friend.
Yeah, he really did. And when he tried to go for me, a shimmering blue shield popped out around my form, deflecting the blow. And this has really quite angered me. So Zep is going to level his blunderbuss again.
Go for it. This thing is on death's door. This was fighting with its tooth and nail with the with its last breaths.
There is actions, attack, roll. Does a
Nice.
28 hit?
Yes, it does. Roll damage.
14 points of
As
damage.
as this, although it doesn't seem like it did its fullest amount, this thing was on the edge of its life as the blunderbuss rips open its inflamed torso and spreads its corpse across the walkway in front of you. With that, we'll end tonight's session here, as the party now have to traverse a room becoming slowly too hot for them, in order to find a mysterious artifact. So, if you're enjoying this, please remember to tune in next week, where we will be back same time every week, 6 p.m. BST. You can convert that using Google. But as always, I have been joined by the wonderful Mordred Viking, Lord Lambert, DM Opal, and DM Lake, and we weren't unfortunately joined by Commissar Roach, but he is a player of this game. Go check everybody out in the links in the panels or the description. I have been Midgeman, and this has been a Component Cast stream. Just a reminder that tomorrow's show, unfortunately, is cancelled due to some ongoing things with Roach, but hopefully we will be back very soon. Enjoy the new emotes, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye now.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.